this?
It is not Jet Force Gemini. All right, the
Rocket Robot on Wheels.
Chat, they're trying to guess what game this is. It's a Nintendo 64 game. It's not Rocket Robot on Wheels. I think both those are pretty good guesses, though.
Is it
Blast Core?
It is Blast Core.
Hey, second guess. All right, let's fucking go.
We were in the wheelhouse.
Yep, you definitely
get
were.
2 points. 2 podcast points.
That's the wrong thing.
Those are the only Jack English.
What if David Wise did Blast Core? I'm not sure. It kind of had a...
It is Graham Norgate.
Oh, is that the Donkey Kong Country 3 guy?
I don't know.
Let's see. Donkey Kong.
What was I trying to do?
3.
Poser. To get the music.
No.
Yeah, I just did something dumb, and I'm like, why was I doing that dumb thing? And I don't think there is a reason.
Eveline Fisher, apparently. For Donkey Kong Country 3.
Wait, is that the redone version, or is that the original?
Original, not that GBA one. The GBA one was David Wise. I think he came back and made one finally. I don't know.
Yeah.
It wasn't even really. It's like, I mean, it's fine, but I don't know. It's not like the original soundtrack was that bad. Obviously, it's no Donkey Kong Country 2. What is? It's weird that they redid it, to be honest. I got a margarita. Don't panic.
Oh shit! Margarita Bill.
Look, I told you it's been a week. Need a little energy boost too. Well, it's with mezcal. Is that still a margarita? I guess it's a mezcal margarita. I think I put too much lime in here.
It's a mezcal.
It's pronounced Moscow meal. That's
Moscow?
Right.
No, not Moscow mule. A mezcal. It's a kind of liquor.
I
I thought it was mezcal.
I don't know. I don't think you do know.
Test. I'm at that level. Exit this level. Chat's there. No, chat's not there.
Chat.
Where's chat?
It's not bourbon. Bourbon.
That's what I was trying to do. That's
I need a little pick me up. There's like, I don't know why, but they say tequila like hype you up.
Yeah, tequila makes you want to kill a man.
Oh, they finally give me the courage to go through murdering Jeff.
Yeah.
You're gonna need it. Okay.
About damn time.
Yeah,
let's see here.
I love that. The thing you said to Dan is like, it's kind of fucked up. You think you're gonna outlive me, and you were like, yeah, because I'm gonna kill you. And shit like that.
So I'm gonna kill.
Okay. That's fun.
Got this in my Diablo 2 Resurrection glass.
Swaggy.
What a fucking nerd.
Are we doing an ad read today?
We're not. I just like that transition. I was just seeing if it still worked because I changed computers. It's nice that it still does. Okay. I think I'm ready.
You got the music?
Yeah, it's right there. Let me test it. Let me turn off this music. Actually, who knows if that's actually going to work because it's probably not even on the music bus.
Oh no, my fingers. Oh no. Oh no, fire hurt.
Yeah, how happy is Christian that Cade is back? Oh, Christian muted you. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm glad someone else remembers Firehair that time. Chris, I was like, I bet they bring Cade back, and Christian was like, no one likes him. All right.
The community remembers.
Congratulations.
Oh, my finger slipped.
The game I love is fucking dumb.
I see now. Wow.
You get to rub it on my face.
Okay.
This man's trying to start an international incident.
Smoky mezcal. Ooh.
Oh God, I remember the last time he commented on booze this way did not end well.
It did not end well for anybody other than him.
What could go wrong? We're doing a console draft later. I'm always very calm and rational during this.
Okay, I think we're ready. I mean,
my Hollow Knight shirt.
You know what? Let's just start the
nice.
show. I'm starting the show because I'm fried.
You got the music up?
Yeah, wait. Oh, you guys didn't hear it? That's right. You guys. Well, you might have heard it now. No, you guys wouldn't hear it now. Nope. That's
well, if you hear it, maybe the chat can hear it.
You hear it? No. Why don't you guys? Oh, I must have crisp on. God damn it. It's always something.
Nick, you should watch out. Christian has the same powers I do around here now.
Yeah, I can shoot
he can't shoot you if he wants.
I heard it.
All right. Okay.
Listen, I like Cade. I should think he's the most beloved character in the entire history.
In 5, 4, 3. let's do this. Welcome to the. It's still so loud. It's still so loud. This is the show. Think for yourself. Jeff Grubb hosting now. With me, Amb.
With me, Amb. It's Mike Minotti.
Oh man, it's just been
killing it.
It's been a week.
It's. I'm so tired. I had to make this margarita. I just had to. I'm so tired.
It's time to get real. I was doing my brain training, and I on my 3DS, and it was doing the 3-back, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting the hang of it. And then about 10 math questions in, I just completely lost it, and I wanted to just fall on the ground and cry. I was just like, I'm done. And it's mostly because Steph's been gone all week. I've been with the kids nonstop, and I'm done. I'm like these little monsters. And hey, good news, her flight got canceled, so we're rolling over here, everybody. We're rolling. We're on a roll.
God, is she gonna have to travel with this constantly, like
no,
every now and again?
It's bad right now. There'll be quite a substantial break after this, I think. So later this year, probably one other trip, but no, it's just a couple more back to back.
Just a couple more weeks, so you have to abandon her with the kids, Jeff. Don't worry.
I just did like a couple weeks ago, right? So now it's gonna be I'm not like. I'm glad that she's got this fun job where she gets to do. She's in Nashville doing cool stuff. Like that's neat.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, I'm glad, but it's like, man, these kids are now 6 and 4, and they can really mess you up now. They're just nonstop. So. Yeah.
4 is rough. It's everyone's like terrible 2s. I thought just from like my nephews and nieces, 3 and 4 was pretty rough. Even honestly, just now at like 8 is when they're finally like at an age where they're generally okay on their own a lot of the time. They don't need like constant supervision, or they're not going to come up to you just every little moment that they can.
Yeah.
It's not their fault. They are kids. You should have another kid. Reset the clock.
Yeah, that's what I do. I would die.
Yeah.
I would be a dead person. Like that's just the absolute truth. Yeah, and it really, Addie's been on terrible 2s for 2 straight years. Absolutely, that's what it's been.
Oh, that's just a terrible. Yeah, that's all of them have. All of my nephews nieces are terrible 2s. Last for like years.
Yep. They're great though. We're getting there.
They're great. She's lucky. She's cute, huh?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. For real. She is very lucky about that. Yeah. This is a show. You can join us. Discord, GameMess.net. Give us a good rating wherever you're listening. Hit that like button on YouTube, please.
For our sanity.
Yeah, it really helps with the whole thing. I just like seeing the numbers go up. That's the one thing I still have. If you want to ask a question, you can drop a super chat during the show on YouTube. We'll get to all of them before the end of the show. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube for the use of our theme songs. Thanks to 1UP vs. CPU for our artwork. You can find more at 1UpVersusCPU.com. We are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and wherever pods are caught. Thank you to the mods. And support us by going to patreon.com/GameMess. That gets you access to the private channels in our Discord, the monthly Q&A, 1 month early access to our Jeopardy games, participation in our monthly game club discussions, and of course all of our shows ad-free.
I think Rachel Kaiser. I'm sorry, Rachel Kaiser's in chat. I think she's taking issue with me complaining about the week, as she traveled for our GameSpeak conference.
I'm sure.
And she had a poor woman have a stroke on her, like the breakfast thing that she was handling. She's okay. She came back to the event, but poor Rachel. Yeah, all of us at GameSpeak, I think, are just incredibly tired, and we've got another project we're also working on, and then we got to do travel for a thing. So there's some reviews coming in too. I'm going to be busy pretty much all weekend with that stuff. So.
Exactly. It's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm
But there's booze in a blender. It's a never ender. There we go.
All right. I got some topics. Really all I want to talk about is the PlayStation Showcase. Is it okay if that's all we talk about this week?
Well, there's some other things I think would be fun.
Well, if you bring them up, I'm fine. I'm just not going to initiate, Mike. That's where I'm at on this episode. So if you got ideas, you throw them out at me.
I'll initiate tonight, baby.
Oh, thanks, baby.
I just want to also talk about Gollum, is it?
That's of course.
Just PlayStation Showcase Gollum, and then we'll do our bullshit. It'll be terrific.
PlayStation Showcase was weird, right? It was weird.
It's like, as I was like watching it, and almost immediately afterwards, I'm like, I guess that's okay.
Yeah,
then the
me
more
too.
I thought about it, the less I liked it. Here's the way to put it. It was just a C, and is that so bad? It's a C.
Yeah.
But it's a C that really should have been an A. I think everybody was expecting an A. It just seemed like they were poised to deliver an A. It's been a long time since they've done one of these showcase. We're in the middle of this console generation now. There are so many of their own studios that we don't really know what's happening with. Again, it just seemed like they were set up to come out with a killer showcase, and what we got was just
you know what?
fine.
Edward in chat just says, how many live service games do we need? And it just clicked in my head. What is wrong? A typical Sony showcase is one game after another that you could conceivably see yourself enjoying, playing, getting, and moving on to the next one. They are now in a place where they are trying to be like, here's one live service game you might like. Here's another one you might like. And we all know no one person is going to play all of these live service games. If you try them, there's no way you're going to stick with all of them. By the way they're designed, they are designed to like go after different segments of the audience. So Sony is now shifted from having a showcase that could see like every major game in there could be for everybody, or every game in there could be for any one individual. And they've shifted to be like, here is our smattering menu that there's no way all of these are going to apply to everybody, but they might apply to somebody. And suddenly it's like completely shifts how we are supposed to interact with these things. We're supposed to pick the one or two things we want. And it's like, oh, you took up an hour of my time to show me one game I might like, maybe. It's this new era of Sony, which I completely understand the financial and business implications of going after live service games. It does not fit with the old model of their showcases. Not really. And listen, they still are making a lot of those old games. They just didn't bring any of them here. And why they didn't, who the hell knows? I think it was a really bad choice.
It was really weird. And that's the big thing. There just weren't that many PlayStation Studios games. The whole thing kind of felt like, this isn't like meant to be a dig on like a Keighley show, but it felt like a Keighley show a lot of the times. Like we were getting those games, I mean, we opened with that Haven Studio thing or whatever, and I'm like, this is a weird thing to open with. Some CG trailer for this game that's clearly aping a lot of things aesthetically and gameplay wise from other things. Like, why is this a big deal? Like, no shade to Jade Raymond. She hasn't even released a game in 15 years. Like,
I mean, since like Assassin's Creed 2, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, why is you're leading with this? No, like just the first few games just all felt like, okay, like there's even that one fantasy first-person shooter with the awful name Immortals of Avian or something.
Yeah, Immortals of Avium.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, the gameplay here looks kind of good. Supposedly it's a Metroidvania, but then it's doing the Forspoken kind of we have jokes thing or something. I don't know. Maybe I felt like something was off with the writing there.
So the first handful of games, Fair Games, Ghost Runner 2, Helldivers 2, Immortals of Avium, Phantom Blade 0, Sword of Sea, and then we get into Talos Principle and some of those other games that felt like they're kind of going off in a direction. Helldivers 2 was probably the one that looked the most interesting to me there, and that was definitely taking a game that a lot of people liked, stepping it up to the big leagues in a way that sort of Housemarque stepped up with Returnal. And sure, exactly. Sure, let's go. I'm down for some of that. I bet I'm gonna like that. I bet I'm gonna like Ghost Runner 2.
There's a lot of these that are probably gonna be good games. I was a little surprised how much people seem sold on Phantom Blade. That was one of the ones I was least interested in. A lot of people were into that. I don't know.
I think it's just this looks enough. It's gonna get close enough to Sekiro, and a lot of people really like Sekiro. I mean, who knows beyond that? And I don't blame you for being like, oh, it is too desaturated and that's not your style.
I don't know. I feel like we have so many Souls-like, and here's just another one. It just kind of looks like a worse Wu Long. Is that what that was called to me? But whatever.
Wo Long, I think.
Wo Long.
Yeah.
Wu Long is the name of the special panda from World of Warcraft, Mists of Pandaria, who had a turtle friend, I think.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I mean, listen, any one of those games you could pick up and be really excited about. And I think if you're starting that way, it's because they're saving the big things, and there are big things. I think there are some issues with the big things too. Metal Gear Solid 3. Issues is the wrong word. I think issues in terms of the feelings we have towards this showcase. When you get to Metal Gear Solid 3, very exciting. That's a multi-platform game, just like many of the big games that in the showcase were. Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma 2, that's a multi-platform game.
Looks great, multi-platform.
Marathon.
Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake 2, yes.
Let's talk about Marathon.
Please.
That was a CG trailer, and that's a whole nother thing here. There are a lot of CG trailers, but that was a really cool CG trailer. It's Bungie's like first time working on something that isn't Destiny in forever. They're bringing back this old IP. I'm like, oh, cool. Like whatever this is, if it's either a single player like shooter campaign from Bungie for the first time forever, that'll be cool. Or if it's some standalone like PvP thing, that's pretty cool. I'm a little disappointed. This is literally an extraction shooter, like literally just Bungie chasing that train. And look, it'll probably be good.
It'll probably be like one of the best ones, best one of those, right? Yeah. I am sort of in the mood to be like, I want the extraction shooter that wins me over, and this seems like it could easily be that one. But right again, there's just so many ifs and wait and sees, and I guess that's true for everything you do at a showcase. It just doesn't always feel that way with the PlayStation Showcase. In the past, we would get a big presentation from Sony, and it would feel like an open and shut thing. Like, well, obviously that was good. Obviously, all those games are Game of the Year contenders or what have you. And there was really none of that here, except for then we get the Spider-Man, and it's Spider-Man 2. It's
Spider-Man 2. Like, and if I worked on Spider-Man 2, I would hate me also right now.
Oh, fucking oh, absolutely, yes.
I would hate me for being like, well,
100%.
Because like the things they're doing are obviously incredible. Yes. It's going to be so much fun to play, and I am just sitting here like that went on for too long. I'm bored.
Right.
But it's like,
show us something. Don't show us that much. Like we're complete shits. I'm right with you.
Get it. But like, I think the big problem is, and again, I don't understand how we don't know how to pace these things with. You don't actually just end with something that is this super known quantity.
Yes.
Like Spider-Man 2 is almost a victim of its own success. Those other Spider-Man games kind of figured it out. Like, what are you going to add to it that's going to be that interesting? Like, okay, of course the symbiote suit is here, and then Miles has a wink suit. Like, those are like the things that are new.
And I mean, is this Sony running into the problem that Sony seems like it could be running into very soon, which is diminishing returns on all of those big things that it just hit with last time around?
This is like supposed to be their big, like, this is the one made for PlayStation 5. No PlayStation 4 version. Is there really a difference between the quality of this?
I bet the Digital Foundry video will be very illuminating, but I did not see it here. I don't see it in the video that they showed us, which you would assume best foot forward, right? Or is this the best action sequence early in the game, so it's not spoiling stuff? I don't know how they choose these things. I just know that I was, by the end, pretty bored. And that, of course, that sucks. I'm bored by your commercial. Go to hell, Jeff Grubb. I hear you, Insomniac, 100%. But it's...
and to be clear, Spider-Man is definitely not the problem. That game looks good.
Yes.
It's going to be super fun. It's going to be a big hit. But you're positioning that as this last thing. You got to give me something else. And it seemed like they're almost too worried about showing games beyond like the next coming year or so. I'm like, no, like we haven't heard from you in a while. Tell me now about like what's coming in the future that I should start getting really excited about.
Well, I mean, okay, so nothing from Sucker Punch, Naughty Dog, Housemarque, Bluepoint,
nothing
in studio, London studio, Nixie's, San Diego studio, Guerrilla Games,
Team
Media Molecule,
Asobi!
Team Asobi.
Come on!
Oh, sorry. Bluepoint, right? Bluepoint. Come on. I mean, Demon's Souls. Yeah, sure. Come on.
Or just something with Bloodborne. Like, people would have freaked out so much just for, hey, Bloodborne's going to be 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5 now. And where the hell was Factions? That is just weird. Like, and look, I know I drag on Last of Us all the time, but it's really weird that Factions was not there, or anything from Naughty Dog, really. But obviously, Factions is their next thing. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, it's weird. I continue, like, I look at the list, and it's so much stuff that is multi-platform, and then that list of developers that would have provided the single or the first party exclusives not showing up, and I kind of don't know how you do this showcase for the first time after 2 years, basically, and it has all that stuff, and it doesn't have all of those studios. Is
there a chance that they're like worried about showing too many exclusives because they've just been on this big public campaign about how exclusives are evil? Is that me really overthinking things?
I don't. So that was the one of the things. But remember back last year when there was the rumors of this showcase coming, and then there was the reason that came from one of these like PlayStation insiders was, well, they're in that battle with Microsoft over Activision, and so they've really
been doing this for that long. Oh God,
we've been doing it for this long, yes. And so they're like, oh, they don't want to show it off because of that, and it's like that was not the truth then. I doubt that's the truth now. But who knows? I mean, of course they could. I mean, Jim Ryan very involved in that deal. Jim Ryan seems to be very involved in this showcase. Yeah. I don't know. I think that it's likely that. Okay, let's break it down to Occam's razor, and these are the games they could get for this. And all those studios we listed, we said, hey, why don't they have anything? They probably have games that are either within the next year or even the next 2.5 years would have been fair enough to show in this show. They probably do have stuff that's coming in that time frame. Maybe it really is so hard to build assets for one of these shows or without like disrupting your development so much that it just doesn't make sense. Like maybe it just comes back to that. I
could see that, and I think that's why even for the games we did see, it is CG trailers, because you can get somebody to make one of those for you.
Even those CG trailers take about 2 months of time off of developers working on games, is what I've been told. I asked about this late last year, and I was given like a rundown. It's like, yeah, if we build an asset ourselves, in-game asset, and we work on that, that's going to be like 6 months of work for a lot of people. And if we do a CG, I'm like, so what about CG trailer? You can send that out to an external team. Like, yeah, that's about 2 months of us because we have to be super involved in all that stuff. That's branding. That's answering questions every single day, meetings multiple times per week. I could see like, a lot of these companies have decided that's not worth it a lot of the times. It's one of the major reasons that a company like Sony pulls away from E3 in the first place, not wanting to be like having to dedicate themselves to 100% showing up for that stuff and forcing their teams to create assets every single year. Maybe these teams have gotten used to not having to do that. And when they get the request, they're like, actually, we'd rather not. Maybe I get that. To me, that's the simplest one and maybe the most generous reading here. As far as fans taking their time to go watch this, I don't know how much that matters. At a certain point, you are asking time from people to come here and sit and watch this thing. And at the end of the day, like I think it's very selfish and self-centered of us to be like, entertain us more with your commercials.
Sure.
But still, you are taking our time to a certain extent, or asking time of us and making a big deal out of it. I think it's only fair that we judge it relatively harshly.
Right. Yeah. You mean you ask us to show up? We got to be honest about what we thought about it. And like, obviously, PlayStation's going to be fine. This isn't some situation where like, oh, they're going to be in trouble now. But it did just feel a little weird. It felt like they were in a position here to just come out really strong and to blow us all away. I mean, look, when you have a good showcase, it can feel like a turning point. When they had that ridiculous showcase kind of earlier on, that PlayStation 4 era, where we got like the first, look at Final Fantasy 7 Remake, and we had that big look at Uncharted 4, and Last Guardian came out, Shenmue 3, which who cared, but Shenmue 3, ooh, exciting. Like, yeah, it kind of felt like something of like a moment for them, and there was momentum from that. There's no momentum here.
Yeah, I mean, we could maybe talk about the longer term or the year that Sony's having overall here in a second. But the last few things, Project Q and the PlayStation 5 earbuds, whatever to the earbuds, that Project Q, I am definitely going to get it. I like that thing. I'm a goddamn weirdo though with handhelds. We know this, so of course I'm going to get it. Is anyone else? I doubt it.
Well, it's interesting. Like they're not even positioning it as a handheld. They're positioning it as an accessory.
Yes.
And maybe that's how we should think about this thing. But
it is.
Again, the question is, how much is it going to cost if it really is just this device for remote play? And that's what it is.
It's it's going to have a little bit of a Sony tax, which is not equivalent to an Apple tax, but it's going to have a premium price. So I think it's
over under 200.
If I had to say over under for 200, I would, because I was going to say I would push to 200, but if I have to say over under, I go over and say 250.
Yeah.
Which is
it's a lot for what
it could easily come in at 300 also, though. It could easily come in very expensive. I mean, think about that Logitech, whatever the fuck that thing was. G Gamer Cloud thing. That was almost $400, $350, and that thing is less than, I think, what this PlayStation Project Q is going to be.
How much is just? I mean, some people are saying 100. I mean, how much is just a DualSense cost now? Isn't that like $70-$80 now, right?
Yeah,
like, there's no way it's going to be just 100.
Oh yeah, and there's no way it's just 100. It's at least $200, I think. But whatever it is, I'm going to pay it because that's very, very convenient for me. It fits into the way I like to play games. I found myself really struggling to get my Steam Deck to stream games so I could use that to play Jedi Survivor when I got the PS5 code. Couldn't get that working, so I'll pay the fee to make games fit into my life. That's worth it to me. I think the thing looks weird. I think it looks really stupid. It looks really
I'm
stupid.
okay with the way it looks, but you know me, I like PlayStation's weird aesthetic at the moment.
Yeah,
so,
I think it looks stupid, and I'm mostly kind of excited by how stupid it looks. Yes,
sure. I mean, I look stupid,
exactly.
and people seem okay with me.
Exactly right how I feel. I look like an idiot, and I love it. Okay, so what has Sony had this year now? So it's going to have sort of the back half of this year. I mean,
Forspoken
definitely came out this year for them. Yes, they had a better game than that. Oh, right, they had
Well, they had PlayStation VR, and we didn't even talk. They did have some VR stuff, and
That's right.
not. They touted that, hey, this thing's actually selling better than the first PlayStation VR, and I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna like come out here again with something cool, and it was, you know, VR mode for Resident Evil 4, which is neat. Then like some first-person shooters, I'll never want to play. I still just can't believe that they can't get a deal done to get Half-Life Alyx on there. I have no idea what you're waiting for there, and they clearly don't have, like, aside from that Horizon thing, it just does not feel like they are really getting their studios on making VR stuff.
Oh,
right?
I do not. There's no way that people. Okay, so people get mad at me when I talk about PSVR. Surprise.
Shocking.
Yeah, shocking. And I'm just like, I can't help the way I feel about it. The way I feel about it is my honest opinion or assessment of the situation. And fair, I based a lot of like the wider opinion on that Bloomberg report of only 300,000 sold, 600,000 definitely better. Even if it's like a different period of time, but whatever, it's definitely better. Sure. That doesn't really change the way I felt about the launch lineup and what appears to be the level of support from Sony. And in this showcase, absolutely did nothing to change that. In fact, I think it only reinforced how I think they're going to treat the PlayStation VR 2 in terms of software support. It's going to be games like Arizona Sunshine 2.
Is it rough to do any kind of a showcase at a time where we're all actively playing Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you got to do it when you got to do it. But I mean, yes, Tears of the Kingdom is so special. Like there's so much going on there. It's changed. Like we won't really feel the full effects of the Breath of the Wild and then Tears of the Kingdom for years, because I think it's like finally going to convince every developer that they need to like at least take many of these lessons that they were like, oh, maybe that was just Breath of the Wild and we could just take some of these other things. Like, but you know, you got to do your showcase when you got to do your showcase. And I think having a list of games like that and then trying to make one of your big things PSVR 2 for this entire year, and it feeling really half-baked at this point. And then, you know, you're Forspoken, and then Spider-Man 2 later this year, and then the third-party exclusive Final Fantasy 16 being your lineup for the year. Well, hey, you know what? That's better than some systems. It's better than Xbox last year by a country mile.
I feel like, are we forgetting something? Did they have something else bigger?
I feel like they did. I mean, God of War was late last year, right? And then God
of War was late last year. Yeah, Horizon was definitely not.
And you know what? What does that matter? God of War late last year, huge, very big game. God, it was last year. Doesn't fucking count anymore. That, you know what? That's again way better than Xbox. But you know, still, I'm trying to like, well, let's assess how this thing is actually going. I was expecting them to fill out the second half of this year way more than just Spider-Man.
Metal.
Yeah, not even Twisted Metal. God, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, Twisted Metal it's a development, I guess, rebooted not long enough ago for them to actually have something to release. I still thought they would show it. Horizon was last year. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So why?
The Horizon DLC. Good point, Nicholas Prasad. Yeah, I guess that's
what was your favorite thing from the showcase? Let's do a little.
I think Dragon's Dogma 2.
That was gonna be my answer. Dragon's Dogma 2.
Because that was gameplay.
Capcom.
That was gameplay, right?
It's gameplay, and it looked great. It literally looked like they took this game that was like, you know, pretty cool, and some people really liked it, but like maybe it was like a really good 7, and like now it's, hey, sometime later Capcom is just on this roll now.
Yeah,
and we're gonna turn that and kind of give it more of Skyrim vibes. That's kind of what I was getting from like, oh man, this could actually be a giant hit. I'm all up and ready for this. So,
I mean,
yeah, I'm excited about that.
There's other thing. I mean, I think Helldivers 2 looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Ghost Runner 2 looks fun. I mean, that
sure.
Squire's Tale or whatever that is.
The Plucky Squire, like that's where like I bet of all these games, Plucky Squire is the one I'm going to enjoy the most. But but if I'm like trying to judge it back on like, oh, how was the showcase? The thing that I'm most excited about is Dragon's Dogma 2, even though it's not exclusive, but it's this big game, and we haven't seen gameplay before. I've seen Plucky Squire before. I don't know. There's a lot of games here that I know I'm going to like.
Alan Wake 2, I'm like, thanks to the Game Game Club, I'm like kind of an Alan Wake fan now, and I'm like, yeah, they're kind of leaning into it in a way that looks cool. I think there's either a guy like who's just like made to look like Max Payne for a wink, wink, nudge, nudge, or it's actually Max Payne, and I think that's neat.
Well, it's it's Sam Lake, right? Is that because Sam Lake?
Yeah, because it was just a developer, but like
Right,
you're right.
yes.
So it's like, is it just him again, or is it literally like that's supposed to be Max Payne?
Right. Are they going to do the Remedy verse and bring all that together
they've
in
been
Control
doing it 'cause
2?
Alan Wake already showed up in a Control DLC, I think. So yeah,
it was always referenced in there and stuff, and then they finally like just actually brought that stuff in. That's I think that'd be very cool. I think Remedy is one of those studios that could make that stuff very fun. I think Alan Wake 2 is definitely exciting because I think that series always should have been more of a survival horror, and now here it is.
Yeah, I liked that first game more than I thought I would. Like people like, oh, the combat gets really repetitive. I always had fun doing Luigi's Mansion, but with guns. I still enjoyed that. But I'm down for what Alan Wake 2 is doing. It looks like it's quality. And hey, one of the few games with like a pretty solid release date, actually, just October 17th, right around Halloween. Even Spider-Man 2, somehow not a specific release date yet. And I know they did that last time with God of War also. I don't know if it's more because they're like really like cutting it close, or if it's because it's another marketing beat for them to be able to say exactly when it's coming out. But it's weird to not have an actual release date yet.
Yeah. So I think overall, I'm like, I started at the end of the show like a B, being like, that was fine. And now kind of going back, looking at it, I'm definitely down to a C as well. And that's like, I think it's a pretty generous C.
It's a generous C.
Yeah, because it's like, I could be harsher on this, but also I'm not here to watch showcases. I'm here to play games. And if I get my hands on many of those games, I bet the vast majority I'm going to be very excited about. And then there's stuff like Grand Blue Fantasy Relink and whatever. I mean, but like there's Ultros.
About that. Five Nights at Freddy's something.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
And then, oh God, I mean, this is the thing where they had those like the break, and we talked about fair games, but Concord was their not Haven, but Firewalk game. And it was just the most CG of CG trailers, right? And it's and the branding looked very cool. I'm glad I can get excited about your font treatment. I am.
Yeah. Well, hey, we've seen some pretty bad font treatments these days. So good for you. Well, what about Foam Star? Square Enix is making a Splatoon. My question for you is this an NFT game, Jeff? Are they going to sell some NFTs for Foam Stars?
A lot of people are like going in that direction. Maybe. I mean. It feels like it'd be a good vessel for that, or like what they would think it would be a good vessel for that. But I don't know. God, I hope not. I really hope not. I would love nothing more than to get into Foam Stars and actually enjoy it. Because why not? I'll play a game that is inspired by Splatoon. That seems totally like a good idea. But
TurboSean says Splatoon with hot people. I thought they already. Oh yeah. I thought we had Marina in Splatoon too, right?
Exactly.
Like that was already.
He's embarrassing himself now. Absolutely. Okay. Yes.
Do you think Microsoft's gonna? You think they're in a position to beat that now? Like before, if you asked me before, I would be like, there's no way Microsoft's gonna be able to counter what Sony's gonna bring. They're so poised for a big showcase now. Now I'm like, Microsoft could probably beat that.
I think if Microsoft doesn't beat this, Microsoft's just in trouble. I think because they have so many first party exclusives announced. If they were just to show a little bit of something from most of those games, it would be a better showcase than this, as long as it all looks pretty good in its gameplay. And if they don't have that, okay. But it's Microsoft, so they could easily come up short. I tweeted because they posted that tweet about. Hey, it looks like a bunch of good games, smirky face about
finally getting revenge for that. Here's how you trade games on PlayStation 4 moment all those years later.
And I was like,
right?
I was totally like, yeah, of course they're doing that. That's the thing that they should be doing. But then I'm like, I was expecting less of this, meaning I was expecting Microsoft not to have the opportunity to point that stuff out. And people got mad, but it was like, and I didn't mean it the way you thought it meant, where I was like, I wasn't expecting Microsoft to be so petty.
Yeah.
I didn't mean
that might have been a little on you. I don't think you should have worded that more carefully.
Mike, you're actually right. I should have, but I wasn't. I was just like shooting it off while I was taking my kids
but
to
also,
go
you're probably wrangling your kids and you're just sitting out of sleep.
I was literally like on my way out the door. But whatever. I mean, it's not big. I explained it. Most people got it.
It's a big deal, and you should stay up tonight thinking about that.
Oh, that's not a problem. Yeah, but then I was just like. Arthur Geese was like, hey, he read it that way, the way that everyone else did, where it was like, Microsoft is kind of gonna poke the bear here And they always do this, and their showcase comes around, and it's not as good as you think it's going to be based on their confidence. And I'm like, yes, they always set the rakes in the front yard. All they have to do is not step on the rakes. They've set this rake in the front yard, poking, hey, all these games in your showcase are also on Xbox. Cool. Do that as long as your showcase is better than this. If it's not better than this, then shut the fuck up Friday. Don't do that. But if you're doing it, I'm assuming you're coming with the goods.
And to be clear, like the goods needs to be more than just like Starfield, Forza, and Hellblade. Like that is what I'm expecting. Like that's kind of like this. Like yes, of course I'm expecting Spider-Man 2 to look good. Like that's the kind of the bare minimum. And I know that's more games, but yeah, I know. I know Forza's going to be really pretty. That's great. Like Starfield, you can have a chance to wow me because I'm still not entirely sure what that is. I don't. Hellblade's rough for me, Jeff, because I don't want to say I don't care. It would take some convincing for me to get on board with Hellblade. I did not care very much about that.
I didn't like Hellblade. It was not my kind of game. I think that first gameplay reveal, whatever that was, looked pretty cool just because it was so graphically impressive. And,
it was very pretty. Well, pretty's not the word. Everybody was like dirty and covered in blood. It was very high fidelity.
That's exactly what it was. And I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm probably not going to play it if it's going to play like the last game, though. So we'll have to wait and see. Xbox better be better than that, and if it's not, then that's its own set of problems, and we will judge it accordingly. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I think every time anyone gets their hopes up for Xbox, myself included, it's usually going to come up short. I liked the showcase. What was it? Maybe 2 years ago. I thought that was pretty good. What was last year's? I kind of can't remember what they did last year.
Did they do? What would they have even shown last year? Was that when we got to see some more Starfield and Redfall? Like, what would it have even been?
Yeah, I guess it must have been. Yeah,
they haven't released anything.
Oh, that was it. Oh, last year was 12 months. That's right. Last year was everything's coming out in the next 12 months, and here is Starfield, Forza, and Redfall,
and Silksong,
and
nice!
And 3 of those 4 didn't come out in 12 months, and the one that did, well, boy.
Hey, at least it's not the biggest flop. Like,
at least it's better than Gollum.
It's better. They should put that on the box. They should fucking put that on the box. Redfall.
Not
it's
Gollum
better
of the
than
Year
Gollum.
edition. Yeah.
What's happening?
I mean, listen. At least Gollum is Goaty. Gollum of the Year. I stole that. Whoever said that to me on Twitter, I stole it. I'm sorry. I'll give you credit if you can let me know who you are. I forgot.
You thought Gollum was fine. You thought Gollum was going to be okay. You thought everyone was over.
You predicted it was going to get a 71. Are you a maniac?
Yeah, and I remember that. I remember I said 71, and then you came in lower than me because I had to go first, and I got really mad at you then because all you did was talk about.
None of that matters. All that matters is the numbers.
God.
All that matters is the numbers.
I said 71. Very
I know
optimistic.
why I said 69 because I looked at sticks and was like, it's probably going to be around sticks, maybe worse.
You just like the sex number. Shut up.
And I like the sex number. Yeah, listen, It's a strategy that works. It's a proven strategy.
Man, we had to play. Well, you had to play an hour of Gollum. I had to watch you.
You need to at least try it.
Jesus, maybe I'll stream it.
You don't even have to play a lot of it. I just want you to see like how he controls.
Okay, I have it installed actually.
Bananas. It is so weird how it feels. Like Lucy described it as he doesn't run, he gallops. And he just galumps, and he just like galumps forward, and it feels atrocious. It is a wildly bad game.
Yeah, there's basically nothing about it that looked good, but I was just floored at that extended sequence where it's like, hey, like the game makes you think you're supposed to avoid some ring wraiths, and then actually no, you can't progress until they catch you. Like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it looks atrocious. It was having performance problems on your, 4090 is what you have?
I did have ray tracing on, but it was at 1080p, though. And I had DLSS on. There's no excuse. It's a really bad game. Here?
Like, I get it. Game's difficult. It doesn't all come together. And, like, look, obviously, like, nobody here is, a bad person.
It's a license game, right? Isn't this just a classic license game? Is it worse than
this is extra. This is beyond that.
Especially these days, licensed games are much better than this. But I mean, I grew up in a world where licensed games were always bad.
I guess so, but yeah, that was a long time ago. This is different. This is especially egregious. And look, it's licensed, sure, but not in the way that we got to rush this out to promote that new Gollum movie that's coming out the same month. So I don't know, in a world where the Harry Potter fans got a pretty good Harry Potter game, and we get Gollum.
You explained it to me because I was always like, look, this looks fine, but I was basing that on the assumption that Gollum would be a fun character to play as because he's the one that can like go anywhere and doesn't have.
No, he has no abilities. That's like
he climbs like Spider-Man in the movies, and like he's always like sneaking around into places he's not supposed to be. And I'm like, oh, that would be a cool character to explore the world as because he could conceivably show up anywhere and get out of anything. And you can't like have a cool ranger like going into doing things because it's like the whole idea is like, well, there's no way that he would be like he would get noticed, and Gollum doesn't always get noticed. But when you were just like, no, I don't like, it would still be cool to play as a ranger. Just make a game that makes sense for that. I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Well, I mean, you play as a ranger in those Shadow of Mordor games. That's like fine. There's a million other things you can play as. I mean, besides, anyways, they don't have Gollum have Spider-Man stuff. He can't just climb on everything. It's still like Uncharted, like climb on the highlighted ledge.
It doesn't deliver on any of the imagined promise that I had that I thought like, for it.
Gollum,
obviously,
his abilities are already limited, and they still aren't really well represented here. It's maddening. Then you have stuff like the internal dialogue. We have to convince like Smeagol
those
as Gollum.
Scenes are crazy. First of all, the choices are so obtuse, and then someone mentioned that the font is basically Arial.
It's Arial. Do you think that scene would have possibly played out any differently no matter what you did? You're gonna get caught by the ring wraith and get sent to jail. That's the next scene in the game.
Yeah, there's the one scene apparently where you're deciding like Smeagol's like, no, let the bird go, and then
there's a bug.
The bug, and Gollum's like, I want to eat the bug, and it doesn't matter what you choose. Apparently, it always gets away. The bug.
It gets away and you get caught by his Nazgul, and then you become I like he'll call him because a prisoner, and they give him like jobs. Like Gollum's not gonna like do tasks. What are you talking about?
It's basically he works for Fiverr now. He's just gonna do a task for you, a task rabbit, basically.
They gave him like an identification card. Like, this is your prisoner. Here's an inventory item for you, Gollum. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, and then it's just controls really bad. There's a lot of segments where it's very confusing where to go. I mean, like there's normal bad game stuff in here where like the camera's pointing over there. There is a ledge. I guess it's not white, but I'm still gonna try. It's pointing there. I guess I'm gonna jump. It's like, oh no, I was supposed to point the camera up. And it doesn't look like you can go up, but you definitely can. It's like, oh, okay. And there's a lot of that kind of stuff. Or if you like, I'm climbing up a wall and it just taught me I'm supposed to jump backwards. And so I'm climbing up and I'm like, okay, I see I'm supposed to go up. And I try to jump up and instead he jumps backwards just because like the game's kind of in that mode still. And it's just, it's weirdly bad.
Jeff, the game has fucking detective vision.
Yeah.
Like, my God.
And we like you're right, we have moved past that for the most part. I mean, listen, I think it makes sense in some games, especially games that have a lot going on, like Hitman. There's so much going on in that world.
Well, sure.
You need to be able to like assess it quickly.
Yeah, no, I mean, it makes sense for some games, especially Hitman, where it's kind of fun because you can see your target from like, across this giant map and stuff. And that's basically what that's for. That's what I use it for. But God, it's and it looks terrible too. Like when you use it, you have like this garish white blinding stuff, and then like bushes become red. I don't know. It's just a mess. I have no idea what went wrong there. It was already delayed a long time. I guess they're like, look, we're not going to delay this again, and maybe rightfully so. What are you going to do?
I think they could have done the Tears of the Kingdom thing. Delay it for a year for polish.
Do you think a year of polish would help here?
Oh yeah, that would have made it game of the year for sure.
That would have helped right along there. Jeff, we got a bunch of super chats. Thank you so much, everybody who's watching live.
Yeah,
We appreciate it.
Let's do those, and then we'll take a break, and then we'll get to our second segment. Does that sound good?
Sounds great to me.
All right, let's get to those super chats right now.
Ariel Delgado says, I feel bad for the GOM devs because I like their point-and-click Deponia games from the 2010s. Do you think Prince of Persia remake ever releases? So that's a thing where Ubisoft said that Prince of Persia remake is still in the conceptual phase.
It got rebooted back to the conceptual phase at Ubisoft Montreal.
It was already rebooted.
Yep.
But I know we just had a question not too long ago. Like, hey, what do you think comes out first, the KOTOR remake or the Prince of Persia remake? Boy, is that a race to the bottom.
Yes, it is. And that also happened this past week. Lars Wingefers, my boy over at Embracer, CEO of Embracer Group, was asked by investors, hey, what's going on with Knights of the Old Republic remake? And he said, oh, my favorite question. And then the transcription says,
he was visibly
He says chuckles kind of annoyingly and then doesn't answer. And the most important part is like he was about to say more, and then whoever was asking the question started talking again, and so then he stopped. It's like, we're about to get some info about this thing. To me, that says I think my intuition about it was right. We're probably never going to see that fucking thing.
I'd be surprised.
I mean, if we do, it will not be the thing that was promised. It will be some smaller version of it, I think.
Maybe. Well, it sounds like the Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater thing is going to be kind of close to a 1-to-1 thing. They're talking on a way on Twitter that almost makes it sound like they're just going to use the original like audio files and stuff like that. And that kind of limits you in a way that like they're not when they do like the Resident Evil 4 remake where they got a whole new cast, they have a whole new script, you can kind of do different things. So it's like kind of like prepare me for what the scope of Snake Eater might be. And maybe that's more what we're going to get with KOTOR now instead of like, hey, let's turn KOTOR into something that's like on the scale of a Witcher 3. Maybe it is just we're going to pretty it up a bit. JR88 says Jim Ryan is Don Matrick with a British accent.
That's not true. They are. He has
prove it.
He's been in charge of Sony Europe for a very long time, and they've dominated in Europe, and he deserves some credit for that stuff. A lot of it's just like,
well, we know you're the #1 Jim Ryan fan. This is like terribly biased from you, Jeff. Come on.
I just think
look, the big difference is that obviously Jim Ryan has like led PlayStation to success. Don Matrick did not leave Xbox to success.
Exactly.
Blake Merritt says, "All right, what do you think happened, Jeff? I know you said this PlayStation show was supposed to be late last year, but studios weren't ready to show games. But they really didn't show much, and what they did was CG."
Yeah, I mean, we've tried to talk it out a little bit. I mean, I guess, I think a lot of the games that we're talking about from those studios that didn't show up, those big studios, I think a lot of those games are probably going to be ready in the next year or two to come out. If you know, and even then, like maybe like 3 years. I think it's just like making an asset super annoying. And they didn't want to do it. I think it's that simple.
Yep. Let's see here now. Jack EG says, Jeff, Twitter DM'd you. Sorry about KOTOR drama. Heart. I don't think he's telling you to go look for that DM right now. But
I did see it, and it was just the thing on Reddit.
Is Jack the one that asked about KOTOR or
no? I think he might have been the one that posted on Reddit that I said that KOTOR is never going to come out, and I was saying I was speculating, and I am still speculating. I don't think we ever see that thing, but that's a guess. I don't know. I have no inside information about that.
We feel that one in our hearts.
Yes, I feel that with the Force.
Yeah, in our bones. Nintendo says, with God of War last year and Spider-Man this year, Sony announcing release dates at the last moment is starting to seem more like a pattern. Is this part of their business strategy for some reason? I asked this question earlier. What do you think, Jeff?
Can you say again? Emmy was coughing. I was just checking on her.
Yeah, so Sony announcing their release dates at the last moment is starting to like seem like a business strategy. Is that true?
Yeah, I think so. I think that they, I think a long time ago now, we talked about on this show, that a bunch of announcements got kind of, because the pandemic pushed really late, and a lot of people were like, are we sure we can announce it now? And they did, and they didn't see any negative ramifications from that, where it's like, we announced it 2 months out, and everything still sold like really good or better than we thought, and just as well as if we would have had a 12-month marketing cycle. Why are we wasting marketing budget on these 12-month marketing cycles when we could be just as effective with a 2-month marketing cycle? And it's like, okay, then let's just go in that direction. So everybody's going in that direction because it saves them a ton of money.
Yosemite Blam says, for Mike, now throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. There you go. I was doing that in the intro a bit. It was fun.
I liked it.
Thank you. Edgar Marino says, can you explain Japan Studios to me? Why did they close down? They made all of my favorite games growing up.
Yeah, because Japan doesn't matter to Sony anymore. I mean, I wrote that story on VentureBeat GamesBeat 6 years ago, like a long time ago now.
It's true.
The PlayStation does not sell as well as it used to. It's PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 did pretty well, but look at that software chart. PlayStation 5 is selling decently in Japan, but look at the software chart. It is 30 games, and 3 of them are PlayStation games, and the rest are Switch. Japan doesn't matter to Sony anymore. Not in the way it used to. I mean, sure, maybe a little bit. Jim Ryan does an interview where he tells Famitsu why it still matters. The proof is not in the pudding. They have a Team Asobi, and they have Polyphony Digital in Japan, and that's it. And Team Asobi does their tech demos for PSVR and the new consoles, and hasn't really had a chance to do their big own game yet. Maybe they're working on it now. I thought we would have seen it though if they were. And then Polyphony Digital just does Gran Turismo. That's all they have in Japan in terms of development of first party. If they want to get something else, they just go and make a third-party deal with Square Enix and let them be their external research and development team. Japan doesn't matter to Sony.
Nintendo the Otaku says Phantom Blade Zero looked like it played itself. I mean, as somebody who's kind of not into it, I don't know if that's entirely fair. I mean, I'm sure it plays like a Souls-like. Maybe a bit more button mashy than that. I could go for a little bit more button mashing, though, to be honest.
Yeah, I think there should be a spectrum of those kinds of games.
MDY says, going into it, I kept hearing the narrative Sony held back doing a showcase for so long because first-party games weren't ready. Seems that's still true. I mean, yeah, maybe a lot of the stuff is just further away than we even thought, Jeff.
Yep, and it's that's entirely possible because these games are taking longer than ever. And it's I think it's possible that we are just in the middle where it's taking these studios a long time to reload. And also it's just probably harder to make the games they want to make in general because they are seeing that return on investment be lessened each time they go out, that diminishing return, because, you know, God of War can't just be God of War 3. It's got to be something even bigger. Like, how do you make a fucking bigger game than God of War Ragnarok? And we're getting Spider-Man 2, and it already is feeling like, yeah, it's Spider-Man. And listen, I love Spider-Man, but it's Spider-Man. It's kind of how a lot of people felt about that demonstration. So that's they have to keep turning it up. And at a certain point, Sony is running out of places to turn it up to because they've already have production value so high in so many ways. I don't know how they get more expensive.
And it's not like the new consoles just like inherently present these ways for like the games to get bigger or to feel different like they used to. I mean, you know, we saw that with God of War. They're like, we're making 2 of these, and then we got to do something different. And like, I wonder if this is going to be the last Spider-Man game for a little bit, or if they are just going to kind of trudge along here. I mean, they're already doing Wolverine. Maybe it'll be good to just, again, find another superhero to turn to for a bit before. I mean, especially because we're really, you know, usually they play that symbiote Venom card when it's like, well, we did like the other stuff. What's the one big card we can play? Venom. I guess Carnage if you get desperate.
And I'm for it. Keep playing the Venom card, but
sure.
But also it feels like, well, what do you do? Like, what's the big thing after Venom? I don't know.
Well, Kraven the Hunter's there, and that's even more important. And I will not hear any more of your Kraven the Hunter slander.
You know what?
Incredible villain.
You know what? Fair. I was remembering reading some of those early comics of Kraven, and he actually does own. You're right.
And you know me. That is my
apologize. Yes,
that's my stuff. Like, I love those early '60 comics, and like, yeah, Kraven.
You are right about that.
Those.
When I thought, I'm like, you know what? I got that book right back there. It's very. He's good in those books.
You know what, Jeff? That's very big of you. You get a gold star, buddy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You're the one that said, hey, go read those first 100 Spider-Man comics. I'm like, yeah, okay. And then I did.
It's clear why that character became a big deal. Like the actual initial run of Spider-Man from the 60s rules.
I mean, it is. Yeah, it's the one where even like DC fanboys are like, I don't read any Marvel except for Spider-Man, and it's like every single one of them are like that. And it's like, yeah, I get it. Real quick, you mentioned like the console doesn't automatically enable like these games to be better. It's like, yeah, the hardware limitation is not a thing anymore. It is time and money and it's budget, and that's
Golem's a PlayStation 5. It was like Golem was one of the first games that was announced for quote next gen systems. What does that even mean anymore?
It doesn't make any difference. Yep,
it's nothing. Eli Phillips says a question / love to hear your thoughts on if the controller screen, talking about that PlayStation remote play thing, isn't $100 to $200 dues. Who has expandable income for one over a Steam Deck? I mean, there's a lot of people who are going to buy things that have a PlayStation brand on it as opposed to a Steam brand on it, right?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a built-in audience for those things. And I think so. For Sony, it's like they want to do stuff like this, but it's, you know, there will be people who show up for it, but we'll see.
Next one here is from MDY again. Thank you, MDY. The Wii U Basic Edition launched at $300 US and the Deluxe Edition at $350. What is the over-under that Project Q releases at a higher price? Man, if it's higher than 300 or 350, that's nuts. Like 300 has to be the ceiling, and it seems like that's pretty expensive. It's higher than 300. That's kind of incredible.
Yeah, I'm like, Does Sony have any Android tablets anymore? I'm kind of wondering like what those are priced at. Sony Android tablet. They probably haven't had one in years.
Got some Xperia Play. Is that what that was called?
Xperia. There was the Xperia Play, which is like the phone and stuff. This is I have no idea what this Xperia Z4 tablet, what year it's from. And this spec sheet is not giving me a price, but I guess I can look that up. But I could easily see it being 300, 350. Like I said, higher than that, it is criminal and insane.
Even just higher than 300 seems insane to me, but we'll see. Yep. Cool Francis 19 says, "Hey guys, would you expect Xbox to have a big show in wake of Sony's shortcoming of a show? Also, would you expect updates to Fable and games that were revealed in that big 2020 show?" Part 1, I mean, whatever Microsoft does, it can't at this point really be much of a reaction to what Sony did. What they have is basically locked down at this point, I imagine.
Yeah, it was locked down months ago. Yes.
Yeah. And then in terms of Fable, I mean, Jeff, you've been saying that there's been roadblocks, that nothing catastrophic, maybe typical roadblocks, but maybe Fable is not in a position where they have much to show us right now.
There's definitely development difficulties with I was going to say roadblocks because I heard you say roadblocks with
That's
Fable.
Cute.
There's definitely issues with Fable's development. I think it's stuff that will be solved and not worth panicking and getting anxieties over. But if it doesn't show up there, people will have those anxieties anyhow. And yeah, there's problems for sure.
Edward says, suddenly Xbox's 2023 not looking so bad if they show up with Starfield, Forza, and Hellblade. Is that a better year than PlayStation? I mean, there's no guarantee Hellblade's this year, and I'd be honestly almost surprised if it was.
Yeah, don't you feel like this is going to be at least somewhat of a repeat of the Sony show where we go into it and it's like, well, Forza and Starfield games that we knew were coming out this year are the ones that are coming out this year, and everything else is a nebulous, maybe later this year, probably next year, things like that.
But I mean, I guess like the point of like, hey, let's say Xbox's year was, granted, Redfall was bad, but hey, Sony had a Forspoken, not as bad, but not great. But then Microsoft also had Hi-Fi Rush, Starfield, and Forza. And if like Starfield, like Forza's probably going to hit, right? That's been a very reliable franchise for a long time. Let's say Starfield does hit like we're hoping it does. Like maybe that will be better than Sony's Forspoken, Final Fantasy 16.
It's a bit of a
Spider-Man,
wash, but it's
a bit of a wash, maybe.
Yeah, it's like a give or take, like or pick and choose which ones has the games you want. But that's way better than Xbox's last year. If that's where they're at, then fine. I hope that Xbox has significantly more than that, but I don't think it's realistic to expect anything beyond Hellblade, and even Hellblade, like you said, very unlikely.
Benji Bob says, when can we start blaming Herman Hulst for mismanaging first-party studios? People love to say the same thing to Microsoft when their first party doesn't show up.
The problem is that when the games come out from Sony, they're well regarded. I mean, that's not been the case for Microsoft. Sometimes they come out and they're Redfall.
Right, like just like up to this point, like the first-party offerings on PlayStation 5 have been much better than on Xbox Series.
Yeah, and even if we include those the third party, or I'm sorry, the games that went to Sony, there was Deathloop, a game that I think is very good, and then there's also Ghostwire Tokyo, a middling game. So you know
what I could have used? It's just something that like excited me at this PlayStation showcase, like Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart did, which is still to me like the most next gen game we've got on either of these consoles in so many
Demon's
ways.
Soul's very up there, but yes, I'm a Ratchet and Clank coming up with you on.
Yeah, like God. I mean, even almost maybe literally, I wish there was another like high-end 3D platformer. That would be exciting.
Yeah, and it's got to be more affordable to make than a lot of these other games, right? It's got to be.
Yeah. Printy Dude says, people blaming Xbox for Sony not showing anything because they don't have to try. It's wild to me. Why would you not push the advantage you have?
That doesn't make any sense. Sony is not really thinking about, well, I mean, they definitely want to put the boot to the Xbox's throat, but the reason they make their decisions is to maximize PlayStation's revenue, to maximize every single dollar into profit that they can. That is obvious in every choice that they are making right now. And the way that you build on that momentum with PlayStation 5 right now is have a great showcase that people can't stop talking. There's no way they're feeling good. I mean, maybe they're oblivious. I don't think so. I know Sony can be arrogant sometimes. I think they're pretty tapped in. I think they know the show was received poorly. And I bet they are formulating strategies to build on that. And it has nothing to do with worrying about what Xbox does. I mean, if Xbox comes out and has a great show and that puts the pressure back on Sony, yeah, I'm sure they'll respond in kind. But they are more worried about maintaining this brand momentum that they've built, that Jim Ryan talked about in that chart or whatever. And that's what they're actually focused on.
Benji Bob says, breaking NSO news, Super Mario Advance 1 through 3 are live. Great. People made fun of me for being really mad about this at the top of Nintendogs, Jeff.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Especially Mario Advance 1 with like the relatively decent Super Mario Brothers 2 remake, whatever. For Yoshi's Island and Mario World, those are just the worst versions of those Super Nintendo games. There's no point to them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're zoomed in, and that's definitely worse.
They're zoomed in, and the audio quality's worse. And like I know Yoshi's Island, they replaced like the SNES Yoshi noises with just the Yoshi story, like Yoshi, like, yeah, and I don't want that in that game. I don't.
Yep. You're right. It's worse.
Nintendo the Otaku says PlayStation fanboy said Sony weren't affected by the pandemic while they put out safe sequels and remakes. Only one big IP game in 2023. This emoji. I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, I'm just so uninterested in like the people who like say, well, I'm gonna clap back at the PlayStation fanboys and the Xbox fanboys now. Especially, we've had a whirlwind, Jeff, in recent months of being called both of them at different points. Like, guys, I promise you. And not just being
called them, but like being like the enemy number one for each fan group, like in their Reddits and in them coming in our comments and just like showing up and being weird and So we're both pretty sick of it.
Yeah, they're both real, and you're both like they're both definitely searching for things to criticize about the other one. But they are also just both doing it. You should just ignore it. You should just move on.
Yep.
But thank you for the super chats. I don't mean to be like coming at you, Nintendo, but like, it's just like, but like, really, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Oh, Greg says, how are you all feeling about Final Fantasy 16? I like the combat, but I completely agree with Jan about it on Game S mornings. The dialogue seems off to me. Also, you guys just really picking apart my darlings on Game S mornings today.
He said, and I'm like, I don't know, because this feels like a game I have to play. I've said that about a lot of games, but I think that's also true of Final Fantasy 16. I got to see how that combat feels in my hands. You said it feels good, and I kind of trust you on that. But like when I just watched the trailer, I do kind of mostly my brain turns off, and I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be getting out of this. It's it's overwhelming to a certain extent.
I mean, I am certainly at a point where I'm kind of like overseeing Final Fantasy 16 trailers. Like, I get that. Like, yeah, no, this game's coming out real soon. We've seen a lot of it. I get it. They are marketing it a lot, and hey, that's good. They have faith in it, or they have expectations. Go for it. They
definitely do, yes.
But I still think it looks good. I mean, my big thing is, and it's the same criticism I had for like Last of Us Part 2. I think like a revenge story is kind of like a basic starting point for your narrative. Like,
right. I hope they go to way more interesting places. I expect them to.
Yeah, me too. But no, I'm still very much into it and am excited. But it's like, again, like it's showing up here. It's like Street Fighter 6 showing up here. Like, yeah, like
we're gonna be playing this soon.
Right. Even though like Final Fantasy 16 is an exclusive, so that's nice. It's like so soon. It was exciting to kind of see it like 6 months ago or last year. But now it's like at this point, it really is just a commercial for the thing coming out in a week. Greg says also nice boomer pick in the draft, Mike. Oh, he's just calling his shot early. I hope something gets called a boomer pick because we're drafting like the new consoles now, just the current generation.
Hey, Mike, spoiler warning: something's gonna get called a boomer pick.
That'll be incredible. I can't wait. Connell Wood asks odds that Square uses NFTs in Foam Stars. I mean, they didn't come out and say it. Like, their other NFT game is so egregiously an NFT game that it's comical. But, like, also, like, if you said, hey, what's a game you can ape to just cheaply throw some NFTs on it? Boy, would Splatoon be a good choice for that.
Yeah, like, the only other one that would be better is Animal Crossing, and they probably don't feel like they can pull off an Animal Crossing.
That'd be hard.
Yes, so I guess we'll see. I'm going to say it's probably not, but it's Square Enix, so I won't be surprised when it turns out I'm wrong.
Victor Marinus says, a pairing of Hellblade / Avowed or Perfect Dark / Fable are the expectations at this point, along with Contraband and State of Decay sprinkled in. If I saw two of those games, if I saw Avowed, if like we actually had a real showing for Avowed.
And then this is just guessing, everybody. I think that's relatively likely that we'll see Avowed. So
I want to see Avowed because like I like Obsidian a lot. I liked it a lot when Obsidian made their Fallout. I'm kind of very excited to see what Obsidian's Elder Scrolls is going to look like, basically.
Definitely, yes. So I still think it's pretty far away, but I bet we see an update on it, and that would be very cool. And you're right. I think if two of those games listed come at the show and get a decent gameplay showing, that'll be exciting.
You think Perfect Dark? What are the chances of that? Probably better than Fable right now, right?
Probably better than Fable. I think it's still relatively low, but not like impossible. And that would be very cool if they could show that off, and it looks great.
Uncharted Wolf says, I feel like the showcase would have been well liked if it shaved off 10 minutes. It was called a state of play. The name PlayStation Showcase hurt it. Yeah, but even if it was a state of play, it would have been the thing of, man, it's been a while since we had a PlayStation Showcase. What's going on? They kind of like had to do a PlayStation Showcase. It's been so long. It's just weird that this is what we got with it.
Yep, definitely.
Swirly Plays says, what if to go along with the launch of the Twisted Metal show in July, August, they had the original trilogy, the PlayStation Plus Premium. Feels like a good move. Excuse me. Let me push my glasses up. Well, actually, it was a quadrilogy. There were 4 Twisted Metal games on the original PlayStation. So there.
Yeah, you feel better about yourself?
Well, I mean, look, most people I think would be fine if it was just Twisted Metal 2 in black. I think that would really cover most bases.
Sure.
I mean, just remake black or 2 and that'd be fine.
What they should do is they should do at least what Tekken 7 did and have all of the endings in a showcase mode so you could just watch them all, like, so we could do our ranking of Tekken endings, which we really want to do, but we're having trouble finding like a YouTube playlist that has them all.
We didn't talk about it, but it is cool. So, we're getting Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3 coming digital again, which is nice. I like those games a lot. I like those original versions. It's the HD versions of 2 and 3. That's good. But it's nice that they say Volume 1 there.
Yes.
So, and I don't know exactly what will be in a Volume 2, but to me, that's basically saying
4.
It's got to have 4. It'll probably have 4 and Peace Walker and maybe Portable Ops.
Sure.
Like, way less likely Acid and Acid 2.
But Peace Walker and 4 have
probably
to be
just Peace Walker and 4 to be honest.
Probably.
But and I'll take that. That's cool.
Yeah, cool.
Simon says chance of Bloodborne 2 remaster ever happening. Bloodborne 2 or a remaster ever happening.
Well, I think Bloodborne 2 happens eventually, yeah. But From Software is very busy, and I think Bandai Namco is probably like really ponying up the cash to keep them working on the games that they're associated with, instead of having the games that instead of opening up an opportunity for Sony kind of come in and swoop away some of their time. But I still think Bloodborne 2 happens. A Bloodborne remaster also feels like it has to happen, but boy, those odds are diminishing every single day.
It also feels like it should have happened. And I think we know maybe why, because Elden Ring was this giant hit, and From Software wants to be involved with that. Maybe From Software should just say, actually, you can do it, Sony. You can get that game running at 60 FPS yourselves, whatever.
Yeah, maybe. And I bet Sony still very much wants to do that.
Callum asks, do you know when Like a Dragon Gaiden releases?
I do not.
Is that not... Which one's Like a Dragon Gaiden? Because that period piece one did come out. What was that?
That was Like a Dragon Ishin.
What's Like a Dragon Gaiden?
I can't remember exactly.
Because there is like a Dragon 8 coming out, and that's
Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, is coming out in 2023, according to this. You
see, they delayed Homeworld 3 just like a little bit ago. It's supposed to be the first half of this year. Now it's 2024.
And is that from?
Is that Embracer?
I don't think so. Maybe
is that been embraced?
Is that Embracer? I thought that was from the studio that's under Sega now. That is Embracer.
Oh, the one that just had all the layoffs.
The one that just had the layoffs, right? That's what I thought. But maybe it's not. Maybe they used to work on that series and they don't anymore. I'm probably off. Oh, right, okay. Gearbox. That's right, Gearbox, which is under Embracer. They bought Home. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so there's that whole chain of stuff that happened over there. Oh well.
I know what Gaiden means, Sean.
I liked the Homeworld back in the day. I haven't played one in forever.
My brother liked Homeworld back in the day, and you're closer to his age. I was like a little young for it, and it seemed very complex to me.
Yes, it was like ooh and
too much.
Yes, it's like this is what PC gaming is. This and Civilization.
I tell you what, it was very much this is what PC gaming is at this time kind of game.
100%. It's like I could never have this on a console. Yes, hell yeah.
Blake Merritt says chances of biggish Sony stuff at Summer Game Fest. I would say 0. It's not like they were holding back for Summer Game Fest. There's no way.
Sony's name is on that list of like people who are participating in Summer Game Fest, but it's Jeff Keighley. That could mean anything. I don't know. So, but I think Mike's right in terms of biggish stuff is 0.
Yeah. GM had a super chat. I think you had that one ready. What did he ask?
He wants me to play a Outcast song for you, which we will do, and maybe I'll release it as like a bonus thing for Patreons.
That'd be fun. Yeah, we can't do it here. We'll get demonetized.
Yeah, YouTube gets very mad about that stuff, so we'll do that and we'll release it. And I'll make sure that you get to see a jam. Don't worry.
Dead Planet says, Jeff, can you cut the tension and say whether or not you anticipate Xbox's first party presence and their show to be stronger than PlayStation's was yesterday? I
don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I have insight into that. I haven't really been looking. I've been pretty busy with planning my own stuff for Summer Game Fest, and then trying to make stuff happen with like interviews and things like that. And that's taken all my time. I'm not sitting here kind of hitting the pavement trying to like figure out what's going to be in the show. And a big part of that is we talk over the shows at Giant Bomb, and I've discovered that people really hate it when we like say what the game is before the game says it itself. And so I'm going to try.
That one guy said he hated that, and everybody told him to fuck off, Jeff.
I know that one. I've seen him even before him, and I was even before, like, it was just a reminder. I was like going to tell myself to not do that so much because I remember saying that to myself long before I saw that comment. And so it's like, but people want to be surprised and watch along. A lot of people do. I know that one person got shut down, but yeah, I don't know. And I'm not going to sit here and try to. And I haven't spoiled
the guy, Jeff.
I haven't spoiled the Xbox showcase in years, even though I've known a lot of this stuff. I try to just say what won't be in there. This year, I've not even really like done the work to find out what's in there. If I hear it, I might do that thing where it's like, hey, don't expect this, but I'm not going to help you beyond that too much.
Reggie Butler says, "Hi guys, big fan of the show. Thank you, Reggie. I would like to know how these shows are put together. How do they choose what's shown and what's not? I think this showcase was rough and didn't need to be an hour long." Do you have some insight into that, Jeff? How are these shows put together? What is that process like?
It's a whole mess of people work like trying to make deals happen. It's like stuff like Herman Hulst going to every studio for First Party. It is a lot of meetings with third parties. I think it's a lot of handshake agreements. It's a lot of co-marketing deals. It's every piece of possible tool in their arsenal coming to bear, because these are massive undertakings. They really are a lot of stuff. It's a lot of work to plan them. So, but there's no like one answer to how any of these things happen. It's different from game to game.
Phil Spencer says, "Aha, ha 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 ha. How does it feel?" I like the, whenever I read "How does it feel," I always read it as like a Bob Dylan. How does it feel to be on your own? Like a complete unknown, like a rolling stone.
Oh my God.
How do you like my Bob Dylan?
I like it a lot. It's pretty good, actually.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, one time I was in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, which I gotta take you to still.
Yep.
You two at some point. Me and my friends were like all over there. There's like a Bob Dylan like area. You ever like go to a museum with a person and it's like that miserable thing where they are really interested in something, but like you're not, but you're kind of like stuck in that area with them because they're like reading every little thing. And
no, Mike, I'm a good person.
I hate it, but like me and my friends just basically started just screaming at each other in Bob Dylan's voice the entire time to amuse ourselves. We still do it to each other to this day. This was probably like 20 years ago. Reese says, "You've done a little bit of disservice to Hellblade. Audio, mechanic, and story were incredible and gave one of the most emotional endings I can remember." I mean, look, most people do agree with you. Me and Jeff were odd ones out on Hellblade. It just didn't do much for us.
Right, yes, yeah, that's just...
Not taking anything away from it, but just for me, like...
Yeah, that was a not for me game. That is not they shouldn't have made this game.
No, exactly, and they should absolutely like go bigger for a sequel, and I bet it's going to do well, but it's just...
Agreed.
That's just kind of a personal thing where it's like, I'm not doing a whole lot for me.
Yeah, and it wasn't like, I'm against this game having emotional elements or its storytelling. It's just I didn't enjoy playing it.
Connell Wood says, "How screwed is Embracer without that investment?" Yeah, so there was something about
they were screwed anyhow. That investment was an excuse. That's what Circuit Toto is absolutely right about that. Where it's just like, oh, we didn't get that $2 billion deal, so things are bad. It's like, no, things are bad. And also, they didn't get the $2 billion deal that would have maybe fixed some stuff, I guess. But things were just bad because they've made poor choices. This is a company that it seems to have made a lot of bad decisions about how to run the business. And to the point where they have a game that sold 2 million copies with Dead Island 2, and that should be a huge success. It should be like pushing the entire company forward, and it's not even close to being enough for them. That's the problem, not the deal falling through.
Jeez. So you're telling me just buying like a million game studios was probably a bad idea?
Yes, I think that they thought they would have some other thing on the other side of that, and that didn't like actually pan out, and then the clock ran out of them as the economy changed, and now they're pretty much boned.
Okay, then. Well, that's depressing. And then Maximiliano Carrion says, considering that the remake of The Last of Us was shown on Key 3 and Druckmann himself teased Factions 2, could they double down on that and reveal it there? I mean, Last of Us remake was shown on Key 3, but that was because they didn't do a showcase that year, right? For whatever reason.
Yeah, I think so.
It would be so weird to me if they don't show Factions on their show to instead show it on Keeley's thing. That would be bizarre.
Yep, I agree. I think it'd be weird. I suppose it's not out of the realm of possibility. You know, but hey, if I'll say I don't think it's going to be there, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong.
I mean, throw Keeley a bone. You don't have to give him the whole doghouse.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I mean, if you do what everyone else has been doing, you do a CG trailer for Mortal Kombat 1, and then you give a gameplay to Keeley. If that's what you're doing, that's fine. You just say that's what you're doing.
Just give him another space game like last year. He loves those.
This year it's going to be all farming games. We're going back to farming.
Can you believe it's almost been 1 year since Enjoy Your Gaming? Because it feels like much longer ago than that.
It feels like it's always been with us. That's been with us since the beginning.
It feels like we've been making bad Enjoy Your Gaming jokes for a very
Hey, what's up there?
long
The top right of our thing. Or top left, excuse me. Enjoy Your Gaming. There it is.
Yeah, we co-opted that. We did it. It's spelled correctly now. Look at that.
Yep.
All right, that's it. That was a lot of super chats, everybody. There's a lot of first timies. We'll call them first timies. That sounds derogatory. A lot of first timers. Thank you all so much. We appreciate it. If you still want to send in a super chat, we will read it before the end of the show. But Jeff, I think it's time for a little breaky break, and then we'll come back with some games.
Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. All right. If everyone's watching, it won't be too long. Mikey's probably gonna go use the potty. I'm gonna go get this one over here, some medicine when Mikey gets back. I'm gonna turn my camera too real quick because she's not wearing pants. I'm gonna let her come over here. Hey, come here, kiddo. Come here. The camera's off. You're good. You okay? Yeah, they can't see.
What's popping, chat?
What's going on, kiddo? You got a little itch? I think she's starting to get sick. Everybody, we're doing okay.
Oh, not again.
Yeah.
Oh no, it starts.
You want me to down here?
Oh, because you were yelling from downstairs and I couldn't hear you. So what were you saying? Yeah. You're just thinking about it. All right. You just wanted to see Gollum again? You wanted to see the bad game?
Oh no. Now he knows. I like Cade. People think I hate him. I'm okay with Cade. I have no issue with him.
It kind of sounds like you hate him.
I don't hate it. I hate the people that like Cade.
Okay, you know what? I can get on board with that.
Nope. I'm not gonna play Destiny no more because like Marathon is coming up. So
Is this gonna be your new thing?
probably. I like extraction shooters. That's my shit.
Okay. You seem to like Bungie stuff as well, so.
I do like Bungie shit.
All right. I think
So
it
I like
might be
Destiny.
allergies. I don't know. But she's got like a thing on her neck that looks like maybe a bit of a rash. So I'm going to go get her some antihistamine when Mike gets back. And hopefully that helps her out.
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It is that time of year.
Yes.
Allergies flare up.
But with them, it's always the time of year for something. It's just, oh, hang on. Steph called. But let's see if she texted. So Steph's flight, I think, was canceled.
You got me good, Bungie. Holy shit. You're funny.
No, all right. She's on her way home now. All right. So sweet relief eventually here.
Jeff is saved.
Yeah, maybe saved. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, kiddo, what's up? Oh, okay.
Shit, that's funny.
Hey,
You
what's
running
that?
through some
I just turned off my camera because Emmy was over here and she's in her nighttime clothes and I didn't want people to see. So
That's a safe precaution.
yeah, I'm gonna hey Mike, I'm gonna go get her some antihistamine and when I get back we'll get started. Okay.
Okay. Oh, my tin whistle.
Oh shit!
Ooh, the
Hope he goes
serenade.
Play the Tear of the Kingdom. We have the overlay. You gotta play that.
I figured it out that one time. I don't know. I can't remember how
No.
it goes now. That was like a. Yeah, I'll play something else.
It's yeah. Is that Idol? Yosobi?
No, that's Lion King. Glory music for
Play
Gollum. Well, I
Freebird,
know
yeah.
some. Play the Gollum music. Yeah. What the
Yeah.
hell is the Gollum music? Play Cruising. No.
Yeah, play Outcast.
Yeah, play Hey Ya.
Oh hey.
Hey, yeah.
Hey,
Take
now
it
he
like a
knows it.
Polaroid
All right,
picture.
all right.
Yeah, once he told me it was a Polaroid picture song. I remember that. That came
You're
back to me.
So white.
Me, no way. Whoops.
So fresh, so clean.
I don't know that on. It's hard to do simple and clean on my tin whistle. I could do it on the
Simple
piano, though. I have a bunch of shit on
and
my piano right
You
now.
also just
I finally
sing it.
I finally bought some shelves, like a nice shelf today, to put all my
Nice.
GameCube games and Xbox games on. So
To put the scalps on
Just
my
one?
enemies.
All right. Well, it's a big one, but I mean, here, I'll see if I can show everybody. Like,
Let's
Ooh,
see.
behind the scenes content.
yeah, there's just like
Oh,
all my
shit.
Jesus
yeah.
Christ!
Turn it-
right now.
Holy cow.
Turn on your fish eye camera mode.
No, that was a mistake that one time. I don't want to do that. So yeah, I got a lot of that shit right now.
Oh man.
So, some shelves
so
would be
many
nice. I could maybe
thunder
bring up
around
some.
here.
'Cause I still have a box with like all my 360 and PlayStation 3 games and Wii U games. I could put those out. Stuff. I want to bring my Wii U out because I really. It's like, when am I going to find time now? But I would like to play like Mario Galaxy 2 again, maybe Wind Waker HD.
Hey man, the Wii U concept is in vogue again. Never been a better time.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Nick Turbo says Dolphin is free and takes up physical space. Not as good though. Doesn't feel the same.
You know, GC Loader is also pretty good.
You see how much fun
It
I've been
doesn't
having with.
feed the capitalistic machine.
You can't feel the disc. That's what gets him off.
Yeah.
I've been having a lot of fun
you
with
can,
freaking-
you can rip off the disc without pushing the eject
right.
button.
I still just like rip them out, by the way, and then afterwards I'm like, oh right, they taught me I can just push that button. And
Oh
I just forget.
Oh my god. You don't deserve that shit.
My ice is almost melted. Shit.
Oh shit.
Too much lime juice this time. I'll have to remember.
Never.
Half a
enough
lime's
lime
fine.
juice.
It's like I did the whole lime. It's like, what am I gonna do with half a lime now? So I just put the whole thing in there. It's too much.
Just eat
much
it.
acid.
You know, Jeff ate a lemon that one time. You
Yeah,
can
well,
be the lime
just
guy.
gross. I'm gonna have to like take 3 Tums after this to make sure I don't get heartburn in the middle of the night and almost gag on acid reflux, which is just what happens to me now if I eat Taco Bell at night because I'm old.
What?
Like, oops, ate Taco Bell and I forgot to take Tums, so I guess I'm almost gonna die tonight.
Get
That's
wrecked.
fun. Oh,
What's your Taco Bell order, Mikey?
What do you think? What antihistamine is Jeff getting for the kid? Think of something strong.
know.
You think like he's gonna give her some
Cocaine.
NyQuil, child's NyQuil? Like, oh yeah, this is for your sneezing. You might go sleep also. Wait, you guys don't want to talk anymore? Where the hell did you go?
Oh, me? Oh, you can't
Why
hear
not?
us? You can't hear us?
Oh, I think I think I might have nudged something. I didn't hear you for a second. I thought I was talking to
Oh,
myself. like an
okay. So
idiot.
you weren't just
Oh,
rudely
yeah.
ignoring me. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
No, I was kidding. I was feeling very lonely and scared for a
Okay.
second.
Mike, what's your go-to Taco Bell order?
I like a chicken quesadilla and a cheesy gordita crunch. No lettuce, obviously. Hey, Jeff's back.
Fucking
I'm back.
basic-
Let me get set up for the draft.
Basic bitch.
What's your exotic Taco Bell order?
Oh, we don't have Taco Bell here. I should say.
Yeah.
I should.
Oh,
start
wow,
here.
what a-
good food.
What a garbage country! You don't have Taco
Yeah.
Bell.
I don't have.
What's-
Yeah, it's a shame.
What's that smell? It's Taco Bell.
Browser. There we go. Opera.
Going to be barred to get Crunchwrap.
I get a Crunchwrap Supreme. I had one last night.
Now we have a Taco Bell.
Hell yeah.
There's too many things I have to ask for none of in a Crunchwrap Supreme. I don't mess with it. I don't like diced raw tomatoes. I hate lettuce, obviously. Basically, the lettuce. If something has just lettuce or just
Obviously.
tomatoes, I have a
my
rule. If I
God.
can ask for like no one thing, I'll do it, and I'll usually be safe.
I think that's a fair rule.
Once you start asking for no
it's
of two
not.
things, for one, it's annoying, and two, they're just way more likely
I'm
to
not
mess
sure
up.
my food must be beige is a good rule to have.
Oh,
Well, then,
yeah.
okay. Well, hey.
Oh, any food that's like earth tone colored is good. Anything that's like in
Oh
that
my
brown to
God.
yellow category is delicious.
All right. Xbox
love lettuce. Lettuce is
Series
so good.
Jeff.
I was
Makes
just thinking
everything so
today, who
crunchy.
actually likes lettuce? I don't get it.
I love lettuce.
I like it as a filler. When it's intended as a filler, it's good. I'm not like I
I
don't
don't
like it
get
like
it.
a salad.
I freaking hate it.
You don't eat a salad? I fucking
Well,
go
like
to
when I
town
get
and
salad, it's like
the
spinach
salad.
and stuff, like the
love
better
salads.
greens.
All right, I'm good.
salad, tomato, lettuce.
All right, you two get out of here. Thank you for your help, but leave.
Childs.
All right, I'm gonna bring us back in, and thank you everybody for bearing with us. I appreciate it. All right, Mike, thanks for asking all those super chats, helping everybody out with those. We are going to get into our big decision topic for the week, which is another console draft. We've come to the end of the home consoles. We are now on the current generation, and we're going to choose between the Nintendo Switch games, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5. We have here the Mike Station 5 and the Xbox Series Jeff.
Let's be clear. Like we generally understand. Like some of these games are cross-platform with older generations. We know which ones are most associated with which. Breath of the Wild's off the table because you got cute and picked that last time as a Wii U game, which I didn't think should count. But here we are.
You should have said something at the time. I mean,
I did say something at the time.
I don't
Everyone's like,
remember
"No, it
any of that.
counts."
Okay, you didn't seem to think it would be much of a problem at the end when you were so confident and got
Well, I thought-
crushed.
yeah, I did
which
think-
means
all
it's
right.
your first this time around. It's all you, Mikey. If you want to go first, it doesn't ever seem
Yeah.
to help you except for maybe that one time.
Yeah, I do want to go first because this time I do think there's a pretty good number one pick, and it's Elden Ring. So there.
Okay, wow, that's a really good one. All right,
Yeah, it's a great
Elden.
first pick, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. I'm worried because that didn't immediately occur to me. Now I'm like, oh man, am I like
Yeah.
not thinking?
And don't forget, chat. No suggestions, please.
Yes. I won't be looking at it too much. Okay, shit. That's really good. Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the one that I think has the most appeal to the people in our community. I think I'm gonna go with Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I know that there's games that I think and I think that's the right choice. I do think that's the right choice.
Man,
You're gonna be
I'm
able
so
to,
mad.
there's some good
I'm
ones
so-
here that you can come back at.
I'm
me with.
so mad because I feel like I've already won it, and I'm still gonna lose somehow. Because I'm just gonna pick Tears of the Kingdom now.
Oh man, that's right. You could pick Tears of the Kingdom. Jesus. All
I'm
right.
gonna pick Tears of the Kingdom.
All right.
I have Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom. I don't.
Yeah. No, you're probably
somehow-
you're probably gonna
it's
win.
Gonna be. It's gonna. No, I'll lose somehow. It's gonna be incredible to
I'm
see
gonna
how
go
I
Super
win.
Mario Odyssey. I thought
Yeah, it
that's what
would've
you were gonna
been-
pick.
That's what I would have picked next.
Yeah.
But it's not up there now. Crap. Now it's like, okay, now I need to think for a little bit. Now we've really got some big boys going all over the place. Shit. Okay. Oof. Now I'm like I don't want to throw it away on like a sub. Animal Crossing New Horizon.
Okay, that's fair. I think that's a good one. I think it's a little bit higher than what I would have picked it, but I still think it's a good one. Like it's not like a bad choice by any stretch of the imagination. All right. Boy, this is tough. Man, I wish I would have remembered those.
Boomer picks as a channel.
Of course you were gonna get that. I don't know. This is tough because now, man, I really hate that I didn't think of either of those games at first, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm
Well, you
screwed
wouldn't
here.
have gotten Elden Ring.
No, I know.
Like you Tears of the Kingdom.
No, I should have picked Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think Smash Brothers is some bad pick, but yeah, compared to Tears of the Kingdom.
No, it's definitely not. I would have
Yes.
definitely also picked it pretty high.
Yes. Man, I don't know because I'm like worried about overlooking things. Okay, so we have PlayStation 5, and I guess I could start going for some of those.
Some of those.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like some of their big ones there. I guess I'll go with God of War Ragnarok. I guess this doesn't feel great. But
Yeah, you sound really confident and happy about that
no,
pick.
I don't. I don't feel good about any of these anymore.
Did we pick Hades last time? Is Hades not on the table?
We definitely picked Hades last time.
Yeah, Hades is
And I don't even
not
think it was
the
on those
ta-
systems now that I think about it.
Well, no one said anything then. Look, I had it. It
Yes,
didn't help
yes,
much.
yeah.
So don't worry. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think here. I'm trying to clear my mind. This is harder because like these two of these consoles haven't been around that long. And there's like a bunch of like ones I'm like kind of thinking about, and I'm just like they don't seem quite good enough for number 4, and I'm panicking. Then there's like one that I do really like, and I know our community just wasn't quite as into
Right,
it for some
that's
reason.
tough, right? Exactly.
Yeah. You know which one
I'm thinking about a lot of those, honestly, and that's very frustrating.
Yeah. God, I think I'm actually just gonna do it. I think maybe those are loud voices. Because I don't feel like it's actually the best of the exclusives for either PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. So yeah, I'm gonna go Ratchet Clank Rift Apart.
Okay.
I can't actually think of a better game than that right now.
I know that, honestly, that's what I was thinking as well, and I was frustrated because I know our community is kind of shitheads about that Rift Apart.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go with, I think, Resident Evil 4 remake.
Shit, you don't even like it.
I do like it. I just don't have the urge to.
You don't
right
appreciate it.
That's
like
fair.
I do.
I hear Jimmy. I'm not like, or I listen to Jimmy. I don't hear Jimmy. That's
Okay.
Okay. So far for audio listeners, Mike's got Elden Ring, Tears of the Kingdom, Animal Crossing, Ratchet and Clank. A very good list. I have Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario Odyssey, God of War Ragnarok, and Resident Evil 4 remake. A decent list.
Okay. I think this is kind of one. This is interesting.
Can we do games that like? Can we do like live service games this time around? Because we don't have a full generation. Do you think that we could fill it out with some of the live service games?
I mean, like I had to hear what you're talking about because they also like be of this. Like, you can't say Fortnite this time.
Why?
Really? Because that started in the last generation is when it was really.
Yeah, but they're so updated in these generations.
Oh, come on, no way.
Okay, what if it's like something like a big expansion?
What do you mean?
But it's not my turn. Just give me like I'm not gonna like give it away because I don't want you to take it.
I mean, I feel like wherever you're going with, I'm not going to agree with it right now. Is what I'm thinking. I don't think anyone in chat thinks Fortnite makes sense.
I'm not gonna pick Fortnite. So
okay.
Yeah.
I though am gonna pick Returnal.
Okay.
Which I know me and you aren't big fans. Everyone else seems to fucking love Returnal, and won't stop talking about how great it is. So.
Okay.
Everyone else loves it.
Shit. Because I'm thinking of so many games that were picked last time around that I don't know if we can pick them again. Or I can't remember if we picked them last time. I guess we probably have that list somewhere. We can look at it. Can I do Miles Morales?
You can do Miles Morales. I was thinking about that. I associate that. That's basically a launch game. PlayStation 5. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure, it's too bad everybody hates Halo Infinite now.
Yeah, I know, right? I was definitely gonna wanting to pick that, but I won't. Yeah.
No, absolutely not, man. This might be hard to do 12 with so many.
Yeah, but let's just force our way to it.
Oh! Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Oh, that's a really good one. That's a good one.
There we go.
That's a really good one.
There we go. I feel good about that.
Okay. So like Destiny 2, probably not, right?
Probably not.
What?
Maybe we should just not do live service games. It gets muddy.
So not Final Fantasy 14.
No, I mean that's game's 10 years old now. Also, so
yeah, I know, but there's like expansions. Okay, fair enough. Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good number 6 pick. I think. I feel good about that.
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Ooh, that's another really good, man. You're doing the deep picks on Switch that I'm just not even thinking about. Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Okay.
How many do we each have now? If that's my 3, 4, 5.
That's your 7th one, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're getting to the point where we're more than halfway through, and I just don't know anymore. You do a racing game? That never seems to help, right?
No, I always am like, I'm gonna go to the racing game, and then everyone's like, no one cares. No one's impressed.
Did we do Final Fantasy VII Remake last time?
Yeah, because that was PlayStation 4 first, and then like it came out later.
Integrate, but I'm not going to do that then. I don't know. I wonder if that would make a difference. I guess it's really hard to know if any. Well, you know what? I'll go with Demon Souls, the remake.
Okay, that's fine. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Benji Buff says, I'm shocked y'all haven't said the obvious answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder. I don't know.
There might be an obvious answer that we can't pick because we did it last time. Like it's a cross-gen. Is there some like
maybe
exclusive?
I was thinking Breath of the Wild, what Jeff already picked last time.
Yeah, we said we couldn't do that this time.
No siree. No siree do Bob. Well, poor mods had to go nuts on these things. No suggestions, chat. No suggestions. There's like a whole just like series that I like people like, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Series. There's like one maybe I could. I think. Do people care?
I don't know anymore.
Maybe our audience, because of what we've been through. I will take Neon White right now.
Okay, I like that. Okay. I'm trying to think because like I didn't think of Tears of the Kingdom. I'm like, man, well, how it's like I'm literally the only game I'm playing right now because I'm like thinking like, oh, it's like I had my mindset the same as the previous ones where it's like I got to think in the past. No, like right now, like what came out this year?
Forspoken, you're forgetting Forspoken, dude. It's right there for you. Redfall is right there for you, buddy.
Hi-Fi Rush. There we go.
Yeah, I almost picked that instead of Neon White. All right, I
think I'm gonna have the recency bias. I hope.
I'm gonna pick the most successful video game of all time.
Okay, I'll do it.
Luigi's Mansion 3.
That's a really good pick. That's a really good pick.
Game rules.
Okay.
That's my 9th.
Now everything I'm thinking of now I think is cross-gen. But okay. This is one I like discarded earlier, but now it makes more sense. Deathloop.
Yeah, that's not bad, Jeff.
Yeah, it's definitely not a high pick, but it's gonna have its play with this certain audience, I think.
Yeah, no, that's not bad at all. What was the last Forza Horizon?
It was Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, that's one.
Thank you. I was like, was that 5 or 6?
Yep.
I think at this point I will take Forza Horizon.
Yeah, I think
5.
that's a good pick at this point. Forza Horizon 5 is one I was gonna consider. If I couldn't think of a Deathloop, I was definitely gonna go with Forza Horizon 5. So I think that's a good choice. Do I already have that covered? I don't.
I didn't hate Forza Horizon 5. I gave it a 4 out of 5. And I said in my review that I'm not the biggest racing game fan, and people freaked out.
I guess it might as well. Splatoon 3.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we're at 10. Do you want to do a recap for audio listeners?
Yes. So Mike's got the Elden Ring, the Tears of the Kingdom, Animal Crossing New Horizon, Ratchet Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, Fire Emblem, Three Houses, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Neon White, Luigi's Mansion 3, Forza Horizon 5. I think that's a killer list. I got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario Odyssey, God of War Ragnarok, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Demon Souls, Hi-Fi Rush, Deathloop, Splatoon 3. It's a really good list. I don't, but man, those first two are going to be really tough to overcome.
I'm going to take. It's like I don't see how it's a bad pick, and yet somehow I can imagine all of a sudden people are like, "Well, that's weird." I know people liked it a lot. It was nominated for Game of the Year. No, Psychonauts 2. Psychonauts 2.
Sure,
I like Psychonauts 2.
Yes,
it's a great game.
Psychonauts 2. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. And we're at the last two picks, and I have some ideas. But like it's like these last ones, it's like none of them feel right because it's like they're not perfect. But you can't let perfect be the enemy of the good enough.
That's correct, sir.
I'm like trying to see if there's like a Hail Mary anywhere. But I think you've done a good job of like picking a lot of the ones that would have made sense late if we would have like forgot about it. But we haven't forgot about much.
I don't think so. You always be surprised what we discover.
Ooh. I think this is going to count because it has a new game in it. And I already got a Mario game, but I'm going to do this anyhow. I'm going to do Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
All right. Look, it's borderline. I'll allow it, though.
It's definitely not borderline. It's a whole new Mario game in there that's longer than most Mario games.
Maybe it's a meter away from the border, but it's like closer to the border than some.
Fair enough.
Okay, my last one. I want to be careful. It might take a little extra time to really make sure I'm not forgetting anything. And I feel like I almost certainly am. Like, especially trying to think of like third-party stuff. Especially, I don't want to speak too much about my process here, because I don't want to give you, evil one.
Yeah, sure.
Any ideas? But I'm also like, man, there must be things that we are definitely forgetting about. There must be.
I've got mine. I have my one that I've been holding on this whole time because I didn't think it made sense to this last pick. But I'll be very furious if you think of it.
I have one, and like really well reviewed game, really well liked game, and I'm not sure if like our people care about it, which is weird. And yet I think that might be the case. I think I might have to pick it anyways, but no, I think I can do better. And there's another one. No, there's no way I'm depicting that one. Absolutely not. No, that will definitely blow up in my face with this crowd for sure. I wonder if I should just try to think of like what's the next best Nintendo thing.
Fuck me, damn it!
Why? What?
Nothing. I just remembered the game I should have picked a long time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a me game though, so it doesn't.
Well, you might. What, SnowRunner?
Like, yeah, let's fucking go.
You want me to pick SnowRunner?
I don't want you to pick any of these. No, I'm not trying to help you.
You can have SnowRunner. You got one's all yours. Fuck, man. Do I really do that? I don't think so. Not that one. I got a lot of the Nintendo stuff. Not a lot. I got enough Nintendo stuff. There must be. I feel like there's not enough indie games. I feel like I must be forgetting something there. But I said Hades. That was a big deal. Do people care about that one as much? I don't know. Maybe I should do that. No, I mean, I got Neon White. There's an indie, but that's not like the biggest. Well, I wish I would have. Well, what would I have dropped for? Because I have two in mind now. I really wish I could. Okay, really?
Yeah, I mean, again, me stuff, but I don't think I could drop anything for either of these. Well, we'll see. I mean, oh well.
No, it's hard. I'm terrified to make this last pick.
Mike, you listen. It's not anything like last time. You pretty much have this sealed up.
No,
just don't make a mistake. No, you definitely. This is not. No, you have.
Jeff,
it's completely reversed.
No, I thought that before.
No, I told you you're wrong this time.
I mean, chat wants me to stun on you and pick Golem, and I'm not going to do that.
I think you could do it, and you'll still win. I really think it's Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom. It was a very good one too. Alone is going to have you like you're good.
Look, it was a very good one too, and I feel very, very good about that. And yet, I'm still really agonizing over this last one. Okay, all right. I'll stop taking up everyone's time. It Takes Two.
Okay, that's a cool pick. And game of the year.
Game of the year.
Yeah.
One game of the year.
I was gonna do Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
But then I remembered Hitman World of Assassination. Hitman 3 came out this generation, so
didn't we pick? Wasn't Hitman World of Assassination someone's last time? We forget. You can take it.
Okay.
You know, you need it.
Not gonna make. Yes, exactly. Assassination. Can I spell it? Assassination.
Ass, yeah.
Ass.
Yeah, 2 S's.
Yes.
I learned that with Assassin's Creed, having to write those up. That's wait. You have
3 S's. I like an extra ass in there just for me.
It's 3 S's now.
It doesn't still like assassination, whatever. Hitman was not. Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, so audio listeners, here you go. It is this is the Mike Station 5. Elden Ring, Tears of the Kingdom, Animal Crossing New Horizon, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Returnal, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Neon White, Luigi's Mansion 3, Forza Horizon 5, Psychonauts 2, It Takes Two. The Xbox Series Jeff is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Super Mario Odyssey, God of War Ragnarok, Resident Evil 4 Remake, Spider-Man Miles Morales, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Demon Souls, Hi-Fi Rush, Deathloop, Splatoon 3, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury, and Hitman World of Assassination.
Holy shit, we forgot Metroid Dread. Chat's right.
Oh, wow. I forgot Metroid Dread.
That's huge. That's the Kirby and the Forgotten World.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Vampire Survivors would have been good too.
I think that would have been fun. I don't know.
People would have liked that.
Yeah, but I don't know if I would replace anything on my list. Maybe Deathloop or Hi-Fi Rush, I guess. I don't know.
I would have put some of those. Hey, there's always going to be ones we forget.
Yep, that's how it goes. All right, we'll get this up for our podcast producers so they can vote. They are the binding vote. I'll eventually post this up here pretty soon for you all in chat to vote and for Twitter to vote, and we'll see. I think it's close outside of this, but not because of those first two. If we don't count the first 2 games, it's close. As soon as we start counting those first 2 games, I don't think I stand a chance. But hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. I think that was a very good overall. Pretty even, except for me forgetting Tears of the Kingdom exists, which is a wild thing to happen.
Well, it's like we're playing it. It's like, well, that doesn't count.
Exactly. It's honestly how my brain was functioning. I think, which whatever. It made it fun. All right. So, Sean, do you have the vote ready to go? Are you going to get it going? We'll give people plenty of time to do that.
Well, maybe we can take a break and set that up, and we can come right back. We'll talk about some of the games we've been playing, BS a little bit more, and we'll close things out here.
All right. We'll be right back. Okay, Christian says the vote is up. Everybody, it's happening.
You're a Patreon user, we'll do a poll in chat for funsies too.
If you're a YouTube member, if you are a Patreon supporter, if you are subscribed to either of our Twitch channels, you can go in Podcast Producers, I believe, and vote right now. So that's
podcast threads.
Yeah, and podcast threads. So
yeah,
check that out. That's available for you right now. We'll come back and we'll talk about what we've been playing, and then we'll kind of break in here in a little bit. Does that sound good?
Good to me.
Okay,
I thought about Forbidden West JG, but our audience, I don't think so.
Yeah, baby, what's up? Yeah, almost done. You got to go to sleep, kiddo. Go to sleep. Okay, let's see.
How can you know?
Jedi Survivor.
Final Fantasy 14.
I thought about Jedi Survivor. Final Fantasy 14 does not count. Came out 10 years ago.
Whatever, dude. It's like an current game.
Also, it's live service, so. Gets disqualified on 2 counts, actually. Last time people said, how did I not pick Final Fantasy 14?
Yes.
No. It gets the spirit.
You didn't pick it last
Xbox
time.
360 game.
If you picked the last time, you could have.
Yeah, I had Final Fantasy 14 on PlayStation 3, actually. And not the original. I mean, A Realm Reborn. So, yeah, really long time ago. Pentiment.
Also, but I don't know. I think, if it's a current game.
Oh, yeah, that one person always says, where's Pentiment? Can we mad? Because now we could actually have picked Pentiment.
Where's Pentiment? Okay. He's right.
Okay.
Yeah, for what? Well, I mean, I wasn't going to... Look, I like Pentiment. I'm not about to...
Oh, man, if you pick...
Pentiment is something that's definitely going to get called a boomer game in, 2 years. Right?
Where the hell is this music coming from? Okay.
What is that?
Good question.
Yeah. You can only buy one.
That sounds what it's last gen. It's Blast Corps.
Blast Corps.
Nice.
Yep. You can only buy one of these 2 consoles.
The S of Silence, actually, Christian...
It's a Blatt.
Oh, not that S. That's funny. You're a funny guy, Christian.
Took me a second.
I got your ass.
It's good.
Yeah, you got me there. I thought about RE Village for a second. I was like, I just think Resident Evil 4.
What about Dead Space?
I thought about it for a second, and it's so lesser than RE4 to me.
Okay.
Not really worth it. Yeah, where's Chicory, the Giant Bomb game of the year last year, right?
I did think about that for about 10 milliseconds.
I'm done. I'm done for the night. I got myself.
Yeah, you got me. I'm not gonna lie, that was good. That's
Okay,
funny.
let's see.
Marvel Snap might have been cute. I feel like we've already moved on from Marvel Snap though. Beef. That was a smidge of a flash in the pan.
Yeah, Cruising Blatt.
Cruising Black.
Oh, I love that. That's a good one. Yeah.
I am mad about Metroid Dread. That would have been a better
Sure,
finale
definitely.
for me than It Takes Two.
Oh yeah, for
I
sure.
knew
would
I was
have
forgetting
crushed
something.
actually.
Yeah, that would have been great. At least you didn't pick it.
Right. Why can't I? Oh,
I thought about Monster Hunter Rise. I could have maybe done that.
Ooh, Monster Hunter War. Oh no, Monster Hunter War. PS.
World would have been last gen.
Did
Rise
we,
might have been
oh,
good.
Rise was this gen. That's
Rise
right.
is a new one. Yeah.
Switch game.
I
But
was
it
like,
came out
I
on
was like, there's a
PS4
Monster
too,
Hunter game, right? And I
I was
couldn't.
like trying to think like there should be more Capcom games up for grabs. Is what I kept thinking.
Yeah.
Aside from RE4, I even thought about Devil May Cry 5, and then I looked. No, that was Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and then came out a year later for the other one. So not really.
Demon's Souls?
I thought about Gran Turismo 7 instead of Forza JG, but I think this crowd is more into the more open world Xboxy thing than the sim PlayStation 1. I liked Gran Turismo 7 more than it, to be clear.
Okay.
Jeff, we should go see that Gran Turismo movie together. Can you promise me we'll do that, buddy?
I promise that we will
me?
do that. I promise.
I'd like
All right,
Swear
let's bring it back and then we'll talk it out. Okay. I'm
I
bring it
changed
back.
the overlay.
Oh yeah.
I like the scene.
Ooh, I like to put a little salt just in my margarita instead of a rim, but like it kind of collects on the bottom, so the end of this margarita very salty.
Oh, that's what you need. All right. All right, we're back. Got a bad feeling about this one, but listen, it all comes around in the end, and I'm sure that I'll pay the ultimate. Listen, in the end, no, even if I lose, I still won the series, right? That's how it goes.
Well, the series isn't over yet, Jeff. We'll come up with other.
Yes, we could do
means.
handhelds. I think that'd be fun.
Handhelds we got, yeah.
Mobile games.
We could draft video game movies.
We
do
could
all
draft
sorts of weird
Facebook games. Go back and like, who's gonna get
Jesus
Farmville?
Christ.
Yeah,
The future of gaming.
That's right. All right. We will get to those results here very soon.
Hey, during the break, I got Jeff to promise to go see the Gran Turismo movie with me.
Yep. Yes.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. This is it's my reward for him for almost certainly winning this one.
You know what? It's weird how I'm not a car person. I fucking love movies about cars.
Oh sure, yeah.
Fast Furious, Ford versus Ferrari.
Yes.
Like a Gone in 60 Seconds. Like I roll my eyes at all these movies that like wax political about jazz, but like, you get somebody like going like, oh, the smell of like the turbine and stuff. I'm like, yeah, I get it, dude. It's like I'm thinking like, yeah, I should just work in a garage. And then like I leave and come to my senses, but I totally buy into the romanticism of all of it during those movies, like the dirty garage. There's always like some hot girl in a tank top, like covered in grease. I'm like, yeah.
And then the car transforms into a dude with a gun.
Yes,
yeah.
and they're always drinking some kind of domestic beer, and you just know that if you like tried to give them a blue moon, they would like smack you in the face.
Oh
Hell
yeah, they would shoot you for sure. Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know, Sean, has it been enough time, or should we go into what we've been playing?
I didn't see the number go up a ton, so talk about what you've been playing first.
I kind of want you just put me out of my misery, but all right, fair enough.
No, I got to string this along.
That's also fair.
That rejuvenates me at the end of a long day.
That's completely fair. Mike, what have you been playing?
No, actually, now I think about it, not much I can talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I play a ton of Tears of the Kingdom still. It's still very good. I'm just continuing to have so much fun with it. I will say that I think I am at the point, even now, I could say, without beating it, I like it more than Breath of the Wild. I do. It speaks to me just a little bit more. All this fun stuff. Like, it's insane the stuff, like the big stuff I'm still finding out. Like, I really spent time exploring the caverns for first time in a while, and it was great. I got a new ability. I got a lot of stuff that let me expand my battery, so I could probably do more interesting and long-term build things. I've unlocked every single one of the towers now, so I have like the whole map scoped out.
That's cool. Well, no, you don't, because I'm sure you haven't done everything in the depths. Come on.
Okay, I don't have all the depths scoped out, but like, yeah, that main area. And I've done like just, a ton of shrines at this point, but I've only done 2 of the temples still. So next I'm gonna probably
I'm 2 temples in as well. Yeah.
So I might be doing another temple probably pretty soon. Here will be my task for tonight and maybe first week. I'm at a point now where part of me is like, oh, maybe I should be thinking about beating this game, but also I don't want to do that. I want to just keep playing.
Yep. I'm not gonna rush it. I'm just gonna keep playing. there's so much to do. I'm like, I'm not gonna like be at the end and have to make that decision of like, oh, do I want to go to the end or do all this fun stuff? I'm just gonna do all the fun stuff, and then if I come across the temple, I will do temple. Although doing the temples, you get extra powers, so it's kind of fun to have that stuff.
Although I'm assuming this isn't a spoiler. I'm assuming that if I do like the Zora stuff, I'm just gonna get something that helps me swim faster, so I'm not that worried about getting that power right away. Yeah, totally. I have no idea what I'll get from the Gerudo.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm like, that's fine. I listen. The powers I have right now from the 2 temples I did do, very cool, very useful,
very helpful.
So that stuff's been cool. But then now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop putting off that newspaper quest. I'm gonna stop putting off.
Those are fun.
A handful of other things. I'm going to. Go unlock all the rest of the towers that I haven't done yet. I'm going to probably, in every shrine I see along the way, I'm going to do every single one of those. And then I'm going to go back down to the depths and spend a lot of time down there because I've been having a lot of fun down there.
I saw my favorite Twitter creation, in this game. Somebody made Metal Gear.
Yes, oh my God.
Incredible. It looked so cool. It looked so much like it. I was like, hell yes, this thing rules. And it had the long arm cannon thing, shooting out missiles and stuff. There was even a shrine. It was one of those combat only shrines, or you start naked, and it was built around making some kind of a war tank just go off on its own and fight the enemies for you, and that was so much fun. It's just incredible. It's just insane what they've done here. The only thing anyone could possibly have an issue with is performance issues, and they haven't really bothered me that much. I think anybody who says the map is a problem is actually speaking in bad faith. It's just not a problem.
Nope, not an issue at all. And they've added so much to the game that there's it does feel completely new. I think if you had an initial reaction of oh, this game could feel pretty samey, right? There's 4 things on the map you got to go do, and they're kind of like the last things in the last game, and you got to you lose all your powers, and you got to build them up, and you get Korok seeds to expand your stuff. And all that's the same in the last game. It's it turns out actually all that stuff being familiar and working in the way it's that was a good choice, because complicating those things by making them different just to make them different didn't make any sense. Instead, they should have just focused on what they did focus on, which is add a ton of new things in every other direction. And that just rules. It's so cool. It's definitely a direct sequel. And it turns out you could do a lot of awesome stuff with a direct sequel. And I'm so glad that they did. So yeah, I am continuing. Every time I play it, I like it more. Every time I play it for way longer than I thought it would.
Yes. Every time I'm up this whole week, Jeff, it's already been too busy, and then I'm making it worse by staying up too late.
Yeah, I fall asleep playing it, basically. I'm I catch myself dozing off. I'm oh shit, all right, I gotta actually go to sleep. And
I do this thing where I'm in bed, I'm playing, I'm okay, I'm done. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and get back. Then when I get back, I'm well, maybe I'll do one more shrine.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I play for another hour, and it's insane. But you never stop at a point where it's I'm done. Yeah. There's always more stuff you want to do.
Well, there's always 3 things in the back of your mind. I was going to do that. I was going to do that. I was going to do that. Well, I don't want to go to bed before I do that. I should just definitely get that done. And it's it's a game that you could both play in these super long chunks where you're making all kinds of progress, and you could play it bite-sized. And it turns out one fits into the other really nicely. Do a bite-sized thing, one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. And boy, that makes it very compelling to play. It makes it very sticky, very easy to play. And I'm really enjoying it. It's and then it truly does continue to feel pretty revolutionary, where it's you'll get to a shrine, and the shrine, you could see the way that it's designed, but the way it's mostly designed is, we've given you a million tools. Here's an obstacle. Figure it out. And it's games just actually don't do that. Some smaller games do that. It's kind of a sandboxy Steam game sort of thing. And this is one of the biggest games of all time. And they're no, we are adopting that play style now. This is maybe the future. And it feels like the future.
Even those sandboxy games, they don't actually have an amazing structure around them. And here there is a good loop and a good structure and all the other trappings you would want from a big game. It is just nuts. And it's I'm man, I hope I don't have to wait for the next Zelda to see something of this scale. in scope again, because it is just magnificent. Is it time to find out if I won yet? Because I'm like anxious. I guess no.
Yes.
Maybe we should start the poll for chat first.
I can start it, and we'll have Sean come in here and say it. Let's see here.
The future, the future.
Hey, Humdrum wasn't able to do a super chat, but I'll answer your question without like actually. Hey, don't have anxiety about the Xbox showcase, man. I don't know. I have no idea. You don't have to. Please don't get all anxious about it because of me. I'm not downplaying it because I think it's gonna be bad. I just don't know.
We just don't know.
All right, I'm starting the Twitter poll, or I'm sorry, the chat poll. I'll bring that back up so people could see. Just give me a second. Let me hit Control Z. There's that.
Future,
Everyone can vote now. Vote for the one you'd choose. And listen, if you're listening to the audio version later, the Twitter poll is going to be running for basically the next week. So you can go in there and just really kick sand in my eyes if you want. Let's see, the Xbox Series. Jeff, you could just vote for mine because I have a cool name. Mike Station 5.
Mike Station 5's a cool name.
Well, you didn't even pick it, so it's not like it's fair.
No.
All right, there we go. Everyone has a chance to vote now in chat. All right, Sean, do we have the results?
Oh, we got results.
No, please don't. Don't even.
Gentlemen, with 78% of the votes.
No doubt, of course.
An
Yes.
absolute blowout.
Yes.
Not even close.
Nowhere close.
The winner is the Mike Station 5.
Okay.
Congratulations, Mike
God.
Station 5. What?
Okay.
There was no chance you were going to lose.
I know, and like I've never been this confident, but I've been pretty confident before. It's still like lost by like 2 to like 1.
Yeah, but you were wrong in those previous cases. This time you were right. Like this is like 100%.
I do think just Outer Ring Tears of the Kingdom did it.
Oh yeah, there was no chance after that. There was literally zero. I don't think if we were to like try to craft a list, like you just had Elden Ring and Tears of the Kingdom, and I got to then choose the next 12 games, I don't think I could choose a list that would have been able to beat it. I don't think so.
No, I think if it would have been interesting if I picked Outer Ring and then you picked Tears of the Kingdom first, then it might have been interesting.
Yeah, yes.
You might have even won, to be honest.
Yes, totally. I think Tears of the Kingdom is actually the most important one, but Elden Ring, because the recency bias, like everyone's playing it right now. So like that,
right.
that's what
Elden
really
Ring was last year's Tears of the Kingdom.
Right. Elden Ring obviously like is the number 2 game.
And then Goldie says Mike's face after the Smash Brothers pick was priceless.
Oh yeah, for real. I'm like, what? I'm like, why does he look like that? And then you said it. I'm like, oh fuck me. Oh man. All right.
Like, I thought Smash Brothers or Mario was gonna be my second pick.
Again, never even occurred to me to pick Tears of the Kingdom. So there we are. Yeah, well done, Mike. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're very good at picking other people's video games. I think that's very impressive.
We did it.
Yes, we did it.
Oh, what a fun series. We sure did. You definitely won most of them, Jeff. I think I won 2 out of all these generations. So
I think
good game.
It's a fun thing. We'll figure out more ways to do drafts in the future for sure, everybody. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom for me. I've talked about Brain Age on Nintendogs. I played Gollum. We talked about that earlier.
It's rough.
It's real bad. It really is bad. That's very true. Thank you so much. I don't know, but other than that, I haven't been playing much, and I kind of want to just get back to playing Tears of the Kingdom. So I think maybe we can start wrapping this show up, Mike. I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, let's get out of here, buddy. We did it. We did good.
We did it. We have a good show. Thanks for everybody for hanging in there with us while we figured all that stuff out. Thanks for listening to this show. If you want to go vote and rub it in, the Twitter poll was closer for a second. I think it's back to being pretty tough for me again. But yes, it's not quite a 75% to 25% blowout, but you can go in there and make it so if you would so choose. Mike, where can people find you on the internet while I hit this button?
Yeah, Twitter and Twitch at Kotor. I've been playing through Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance on the GameCube. I want to do some more of that this week. I've been enjoying this stupid game. It's just such a simple, fun game right now. It's like the opposite of Tears of the Kingdom, of all the stuff you can do. Here, there's like 3 things you can do, but they all kind of work pretty well, and I like doing them. But yeah, we'll figure out some other things to do.
The YouTube poll, real quick, 73% for the Mike Station 5.
Hey, thank you, YouTube. Hey, appreciate it. But yeah, and then we did Connectivity Compadres, which was an interesting episode of that. But yeah, that Gollum The Golem something. I tell you what, yeah, watch the Golem thing. Don't buy Golem. Watch that.
Yeah, don't. Yes, just watch us play. That was a lot of fun, actually.
It was fun.
Us playing and talking about it. That's a lot of fun. You can get that for free on giantbomb.com.
Oh, I mean, I know this isn't my wish for Blade Club, but like Dan's got all these wrestling connections and he's like used to it. To me, it's still like it would give me a pop. I wonder if you could get any wrestler to give me some kind of RoboCop motivational like talk.
Oh, we can
some kind of a little thing. Any wrestler, I don't care who.
Okay, we might be able to make that
somebody.
Happen. We'll figure something out. That'd be fun. It should be Sting though, so we'll see.
Well, it won't be Sting. He won't do it. I don't think Sting. I don't think it'd be incredible if it was Sting. I don't think he can get Sting.
We'll see. We did not forget Astro's Playroom. We just didn't select it. I was considering it for my last spot.
I was considering it. God, that keeps.
Yeah, it's a real good.
Jeff, I would do so many terrible things to get just like that as a sequel, as a full game. That game is just so good as that little stupid thing it was. It was perfect as that. It was. I regret giving it a 4 out of 5 back then just because it was short. I should have just given it the best score I possibly could because it is so good.
It's a precious little thing and it deserves all the accolades. Good. Yep, it's fantastic. All right, we are going to be back next week. Things are going to get pretty hectic here pretty soon because the week after that it's going to be Summer Game Fest. But we'll come back and we'll probably do some episodes talking about that next week. So look out for that. Till then, though, everybody, have a good one. Take care of yourself. Goodbye. We'll see you next time.
We're taking over LA. Look at Hollywood. Here I come. Sorry, Mom. I gotta make it big in Hollywood. I can't mind the store no more.
Master Chief comes.
Yay, it's back.